Trash to
Thingamabobs.
Cash Podcast, episode 109. I'm Dave, the ADH guy. With me, as always, is
Look at how
Carrie, the
upset he's getting.
American
Goodness
Arbitrage. He's
gracious.
yelling at his family again. He
Gosh,
can't even
dude.
stop yelling at them long enough for me to do an intro. Kevin,
He's got
the
two
fancy
sheds.
boy, Commonwealth Picker.
He's got two sheds, yet he has to do the live in his
I
kitchen where his
do.
family's trying to live and
I
just
do
enjoy
have
their
to
life.
do it in the kitchen.
Put your little names up
I don't
there.
have a
Carrie, you
choice.
just went with Carrie today. That's interesting.
I just wanted to go with Carrie.
and it looks like you took your monthly shower, so you're really, stepping it up.
I did.
You do.
Monthly.
You look smooth and
I
well.
was gonna
Did you
get
get a
out
haircut?
of
Refined.
You got a haircut. You got a haircut. That's what happened.
No, I just combed it.
Dude, then how did the sides get shorter?
Exactly.
You combed it off.
I just took a shower and I was gonna pull a Dave and wear my pajama pants up here, but I didn't. I couldn't.
Kevin, are
you
you
have
coming?
you have too much self-respect for that. I appreciate
Are you
it.
coming over, Kevin?
I told you
heard
I'd tell you by today.
It's today. Are you
Yeah,
coming?
I got 2.5 hours left to decide.
Just decide, dude. You can do 4
I went
days of
through
picking.
all my old footage and see if I could find something I haven't used, and I found a few things. So I don't know.
Dude, you could have 4 days if you come down
I'm
here.
saying there's a good chance I'm coming down.
2 on my side, 2 on Rod's side. Rod said he could set up some private picks for you. You got the Webster
I
on
can't
Monday.
afford 4 days. I can afford 3 days. Yeah, I can afford 4 days.
You can afford whatever
Friday,
you want.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 4 days. Dude, you got to go to the Webster. I really think that a flea market video would kill on your channel. Like a good flea market, not a crappy Lynchburg flea market.
I have one
like
coming up, though. I have one coming up in Vegas that I have
flea
to
market?
put out.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
actually a
Broad
decent
Acres.
flea market. Yeah, that's a decent one. I bet that'll do good for you. Like, because you share a lot of audience with Josh, and Josh's people love flea market stuff. And I do too. And when I do flea market videos, they actually do usually better than yard sale videos.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of the garage sale guy out in the sticks, you know? It's like, I had. Did you see
it's
that
okay to
video
change
that
it
hit?
up
You
every
see
now
my
and then.
video today? It's hidden. It's killing it.
I did, Kevin.
I feel
pay
so
little
guilty.
attention to your
So
content.
guilty.
You wouldn't even believe it.
Feel
Well,
awful.
that's because you called it a Karen, right? You called someone a Karen. You're such a jerk.
Oh,
Yeah, that is
whatever.
terrible.
can't believe
We
you did
told
that.
you not to do that again.
Oh, my
We're
gosh.
like, don't
I-
do
That
it a
was so
second
3
time. You
years
already.
ago. Now it's
This-
offensive at
this
this
was
point.
Yeah, it
such
is.
a
At this
Karen
point, it's
video.
offensive for how lame it is. At
And
this
I
point, you
just,
got to
I
come up
wasn't
with
going to
something
do
else.
it. I wasn't going to do it. And I'm like,
But somehow
this
you
video
did.
is going to
But
hit.
somehow you did. It
Carrie,
always.
you're filibustering. You told me to do it, and so did he.
Hey, the only reality that matters is the one we make up on the podcast. That's the only reality that
I
matters.
sent a
True.
message to these two clowns. I'm like, gosh, this is like so, it's perfect. I mean,
Dude,
the lady
you know what,
literally
Kevin?
tried to yank it out of my hand.
I couldn't I would say don't do it, right? It's bad for your image. But the day before you did something way more offensive, using someone's child in your thumbnail, saying you love lowballing kids. I'm like, that's way worse than a Karen. Like at this point, you don't care. So just do
It's
whatever
like-
you want, Karen.
Yeah, that's kind of how
Karen of
you
Kevin.
didn't
it's
watch
kind of how
the
a
video.
YouTube channel goes. It gets more and more
Did
salacious
you
till
watch
people
that
stop,
video?
watching completely.
No, well, you. I'm pretty sure you changed the title, Kevin. I think the title was "I love lowballing kids at garage sales," and now it's something like "My heart was exploding with love at this garage sale." So you must have
And you
been
know
getting
what
some heat.
immediately happened
You
when
must
I
have been getting
changed
some
it?
heat.
I was
What?
getting heat. You know what happened when I changed it? Boom, straight down.
Yeah.
Went
Yeah,
down
'cause
to
people-
a 10.
And what it
From
was
a
probably
You gotta stop listening to the people. What the real
I
people
feel
who are
bad.
actually watching your videos want. They want Commonwealth Fonzie. They want the bad boy in the leather jacket. They don't want this what is he? What's the nerdy one that he always is? Opie. They don't want Opie anymore. Opie's dead. It's time for
The
Fonzie.
heel
I was
turn.
just Kevin. I was so shocked that you did that without even you asked about the
What?
Karen, which you've done before, but the
Yeah.
kid lowballing thing is so
Yeah.
much more.
I didn't even know you did
button-pushy.
that.
I didn't.
I wouldn't even have
lowball.
shown up to the
Listen,
podcast if I knew you did that.
There was 2 plush over there, and I brought them up to the table. They weren't like $1.50 for plush, right? It was a weird. Who asks $1.50? People that are smart, because you say I'll give you $1, right? If you do $1, you go down to 50 cents. But I bring them over to the table, and I ask the lady about the plush. I'm like, hey, you got, I don't know what it was. It was like $3.50, and I asked it for $4 or something like that, or for $3. And she turns and looks to the kid, and I'm like, oh, great, they're hers. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So I actually gave her a little bit more in there. So I didn't lowball.
Yes,
I was
but
trying
Kevin,
to lowball.
Listen,
but I didn't know it was
you
the
titled
kids.
it. Guys, I want you all to understand what he's hiding from you. He titled this video. I've got a record of it. I've got a screenshot. Nothing
Brian-
like lowballing a kid at a garage sale was his
Well,
title.
I felt
Terry.
bad. I lowballed the kid, and then I realized it was the kid, so I felt bad, and I gave him more. It was a
But
good
then
time.
you exploited it with your thumbnail and your title. You're a Jedi master, some would say.
Listen, look at the kid that's looking up like
Yeah,
this.
did
like,
you get permission
just
to
give me
use her
more
image in your
money?
thumbnail?
Yeah.
No, oh please,
Did you ask permission
do you
for
know how-
everybody you
Listen,
filmed?
and you believe that too. And there's people who say that stuff too. And it's first of all, I tell people all the time I'm out there, and often when the kid's on there or something, I'm gonna use them, and I'll just say, "Hey, is it okay if I do whatever?" And 99% of the time,
Well,
it's
you're
a yes.
walking around with
Brandon.
a reel
All the
to
time.
reel Super 8, so it's fairly
It
obvious
is
that you're
true.
filming.
You got your old timey camera that you're winding up.
Cranking.
No, Brandon got yelled at from a Lynchburg
Brandon's
native.
creepy.
No, for having
Brandon's
a video
creepy.
of him.
It needs,
without
yeah. I mean, it
permission.
needed to be said. It needed to be said.
And like the guy was like doing all this like, oh, you know, I'm gonna sue you and stuff to Brandon.
Oh,
I
yeah?
said, dude, he can't.
Oh,
He's
I
in
wonder-
a
I
public
might know who it
place.
is. Yeah,
He's in
sure.
a public place. Like
Of
how
course.
it's legal. It's completely fine. If he didn't
course it
want
is.
someone recording him, he shouldn't have a public yard sale. They're
Yeah.
that's the way. Or you tell him
It
to leave if
typically
you
has
want
to
him
do
Or
with
tell him to leave.
whether you can assume there's going to be privacy. So even if you're doing like an estate sale, there's no assumption, I guess,
assumption
of
of
privacy
privacy,
because
yeah.
it's open to the public.
However, there are still private property rights. They can ask you to leave.
Well, they could ask
Yeah,
you
they
to
can ask
leave,
you to
but you
leave.
can't. They can't ask you to delete your footage. I mean, they can,
No,
but you can
and,
say no.
and Brandon asked me what I'd do, and I said honestly, you know, if someone
it down.
asks me, I do. I take it down.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm not there to ruin people's lives.
You
and make
needle
them
it a
sad.
little bit for
So I
the
told him to
thumbnail
take it
and for
down.
the.
And
You have to lean in a little bit for like a minute so you can get some salacious details for your video.
well, listen,
Yeah.
all
You're
these
nice.
years I've been doing it, I've probably put out as much or as many garage sale videos as anybody. I've only
Some
been
would say-
asked
some would say
one
too many.
time- One time to take, yeah, some would say that to take it down, and it was a thumbnail. They just asked that their face not be in the thumb. Just move my face up a little bit. I said, sure,
Yeah.
no problem.
Hey, Kevin, I think a lot of people might be streaming at your house because your connection's weaker than.
yeah, I
Okay.
was asking if you're filming this on a potato.
I'll be right
now.
back.
Okay. He's gonna go lay down the law. You should.
He's got
see how-
to get.
Oh, he
he's gotta
unmuted
get-
by accident. Kevin, you're unmuted, buddy.
No,
Oh, we're about
let's
to
see what
hear it.
happens. Let's see what happens, guys. You're gonna hear the real Commonwealth.
Get off. Hey, Reagan, if you're running that game, you're gonna have to stop. I think, baby. I can't. I'm going in and out, in and out, in and out. Is that all right with you?
Wait, something's gonna happen. He's gonna throw a plate or something.
I think it's good that you
Okay.
turned off your camera, but not.
Oh,
your
it's not the
sound.
mic.
Yeah, yeah. You're like.
Don't worry, we stopped and listened.
We just listened. That was all we were doing.
Did I say anything bad?
No, you were good.
I
You were
told
pretty
Reagan
good.
to turn off the game. What game is she playing?
She's streaming. Is she playing Fortnite down there? What's she doing?
Oh yeah, that's pretty
She's playing
intense.
something.
Yeah, that's pretty data intense. So that makes sense.
Yeah, Fortnite, the Super Mario Brothers for the
Well,
the
we
kids.
run the TV runs on it, YouTube TV,
Yeah,
and everybody's on their
Yeah, it's up.
phones, and everybody. It's it is what it
The
is.
hamster can only run so fast
Exactly.
out in the
He's-
boondocks.
He's
there.
only got so many chickens in the backyard on the
running the little wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kevin is out there putting every offensive title, getting desperate,
No.
getting desperate.
Oh my!
I mean,
gosh,
what's next,
whatever.
Kevin? Real
Listen,
estate
You never
license?
offend anybody if you just don't put out videos, Kevin. That's the key.
Well,
You
I
keep
know,
away from offending everyone.
I know there are Karens who watch my videos, and those like real Karens, right? Nice, normal people.
Well, there's Kevin's too.
I had one buy something from me the other day on eBay. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So now I don't know. I'll probably end up.
I mean, if I
Taking this
honestly,
one down,
if my name was Kevin or Karen at this point, I would look to legally changing it because it's
No,
the name.
come on.
Objectively, the name's ruined.
No, it's
Objectively.
not. Jeez.
Yeah, but I mean,
Kevin,
like,
why did you change the name for the kid one? Were you getting unsubscribes?
No, I wasn't getting unsubscribes.
What was your
It-
dislike ratio?
It wasn't bad. It was. I mean, for me, if it's if it's 98, it's pretty bad. So
Carrie, our movie podcast is a 95.
Oh really?
Yeah,
There's 5%
yeah.
of people who hate it. That's okay.
Yeah,
At
and
least
only
people are
like-
watching
only like
it.
100
And that's like
people
our
watch
friends too.
Well,
Yeah,
I
so
know.
there's a good chunk of our friends who don't even like it.
you want to hear the irony? is
That's
the
awesome.
people, the Karens who, and there's a few of them who were putting in my video. They were the politest people ever. They're like, please don't be offended by this, but I would appreciate it if you would change the name. And they're wonderful and they're nice. So it's like,
And
what
are
do
you
you
going to do it, or are you going to
And
get
the
that
Karen
money
video
first?
had two so far today, and it came out this morning. It has 2 unsubs and 54 subs. Or 56
wrong
because
with
that
all these
Sometimes,
people
yeah,
subscribing to your channel?
sometimes doing the wrong thing pays is what we're learning from Kevin on this one.
It's one thing
Well,
Kevin taught me.
like Dave, it paid off for Dave. All those terrible buys
what
for
way?
years stored in that shed, it paid off.
I know. Look at that, guys. I did it. I've done it. I sold a bunch of my crap. And I did a whole dedicated video that's going to drop Wednesday. So I'm not going to spoil like all the earnings, even though I kind of said it on a couple whatnots and stuff.
Yeah.
The earnings and the quantities and all that stuff, I'll be out on a Wednesday video.
And how many hours Tina put into shipping?
Well, me and Tina, yeah. I mean, that's in the video. I won't spoil
that.
that. But it was the whole day, basically. It was one person's whole day, at least.
For sure.
But it was fun, and it was almost like found money, right? It's just sitting out there for over a year. Before that, it was in a storage, storage locker.
Container.
That I was paying for.
Locker,
yeah, I was paying for a locker up in North Carolina, and I literally brought it all down with me like some sort of psychopath.
So if you take all that, the money you spend in the storage locker, plus all the money you spent on the items that you bought, you lost about $2,000.
It's a pretty good flip for me.
Yeah, par for the course.
Killing it.
Par for the course.
Listen, hold on.
It was a sunk
At the end of the day,
got money out of
at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a great series. There's going to be that day. I don't know when it's going to be. Maybe May, where I'm in that thing completely empty for my thumbnail, and that I am looking forward to. This is going to be a journey, and I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to try to sell everything, Kevin.
One of these
literally everything.
Yeah, I believe it. That's a good follow too. So I heard one of these talking head videos, and everybody's commenting, and I saw a comment in there, and I know it was about you because they didn't say your name. They said, some of these people who just buy junk at yard sales forever, they're broke.
Did.
They're broke and they need money to keep going, so they got to sell it off. Geez, I don't think that's the case.
It's fair. I think that's fair.
I know why you're broke, though. I watched you in a few whatnots tonight. I know why you're broke.
Dude,
what's
the problem
wrong
is,
with you?
Okay, so the problem is that Mike actually sells stuff I can make a profit on. Like most people sell garbage on whatnot. Mike seems to bring pretty solid inventory that I can make money on, and I'm like, damn. So he's like the only one I buy from because I can usually make some money, and then he gets all bitter about it when I make money from him.
I only buy from Mike.
Sold it for $20
when you're not in there. Yeah.
Well, Liz was making it hard on me tonight.
Yeah,
Joy.
You selling
Joy
on
got some
eBay?
good deals.
You just a whatnot?
What
now.
eBay? No, dude, I got a whole new website that I'm pimping. Some new website. It's the Trash to Cash Marketplace. Yeah, I don't know what we're calling it yet, but it's coming, guys. The Trash to Cash Marketplace. Kevin said that if I don't do it, he will actually murder me. So I'm in. I'm in, guys.
He's
under
looking
duress,
for
but I'm in.
excuses to murder Dave. So
listen. So, there's a lot of people. This is breaking news on across YouTube.
Big news.
And
big news.
Not this, but just in general. These people.
Big news.
Brand new.
If anything Crazy Lamp Lady does, it becomes like the flashy, shiny thing.
Yeah.
She's no dummy. So
the whatnot. This will destroy whatnot. This is the new whatnot.
This has a lot. People
Kevin wants to explain this to us, but on his
so
potato
bad,
internet, it might be hard.
Is it not working?
Kevin.
Is it not working?
It's pretty bad.
I
don't know what's going on over there, man.
She's about to get a battle royale victory.
What?
He doesn't.
I'm talking about your internet issues, Kevin. Hi.
You want me to stop?
Trash to Cash Podcast. Carrie, yes, do something to make it better. I mean, Carrie, we'll talk amongst ourselves.
I don't know. What did you think of our first podcast, AI
picks, dude? I thought it was okay. Barrett wasn't warmed up. I think he's a lot better in the second episode.
He's a lot better in number 2, and then we're doing a movie we at least all of us have seen for the third one. It's a big mystery, but I like this movie better than the first 2, so I'm excited for it. Yeah, it's a chance for Carrie to be serious and not just a big goofball that nobody takes serious.
It's not as much of a comedy show. It's just not turning into
that. It'll probably get
there. Maybe. Yeah, but you also have to kind of let things, take their own course. And at
Barrett has a different vibe. Kevin has a pick on me. I'm so annoying vibe. And
Yeah,
Barrett's just
yeah.
like I like him, like genuinely.
Yeah, he's just like a nice guy, and it's hard
Yeah,
to
it's just like it's
make
hard
fun
to
of
root
him.
against him. Yeah.
Don't worry, Kevin. We're not talking about you.
Yeah. How come I'm not on the bottom here? Aren't I normally at the bottom?
You want to be on the bottom?
Dave. I don't know. I don't
You're on the
All
bottom.
right, as requested.
Kevin's the bottom.
He
Got
is
it.
the bottom.
Hey, Kevin, can you take your mic out and put it back in
Yeah,
during that whole process? You lost it. I don't know why it does that. It's really weird.
Yeah, what
There's
is
Kevin's
up?
hand, guys. In
Is
case you were
he
curious
live
about
on
it.
MySpace right now? What is he doing?
Kevin, okay, let's talk. I'm hoping
Let's
that your
talk.
internet's better.
I'm hoping.
So I watched
It's a new
some
thing.
stuff because I knew if I came unprepared, Kevin would get angry and hit me. Well, that's just what he does to me. He just
Never
hits me.
again.
And so there's this new thing. It's like
Yeah.
everyone's. I think it's weird how everyone's saying, "I've got a new website." Like everyone's like, "Oh,
Yes.
come to my." It's like kind of weird and disingenuous, but whatever. It's fine. It's literally District is a new website,
Yeah.
and in that website you can create your own marketplace.
Yeah, they
as
create
a-
the infrastructure for creators or
They create the back
collectors
end.
or
Yes.
whatever
It's
to bring their own community together and use it as a selling platform. That's a good
Yes.
way to explain it, I guess.
Exactly. I wouldn't call it like, CommonwealthPicker.com. I made this website. I own this website. That's
Right.
not the case, right? It's the Commonwealth Picker marketplace that has, that you have control over who's
Well,
in
let's
it.
use the Crazy
yeah,
Lamp
things
Lady
like
as an
that.
example. So it's Crazy
Yeah.
Lamp Lady. So it's not crazylamplady.com. It's, what is it, knickknacks?
Knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a
something
give a
bone.
dog a
like that.
bone. Yes.
And so
.com.
she's
Yes.
created a marketplace that has the infrastructure behind it, and she's allowing folks to sell in it. But it's, I don't know, I see a lot of kind of landmines in this thing that make me weary. I've seen messages about it for two months, and it's I'm still like, So whenever that happens, I just pass it off to Dave.
Theoretically, if it works, it's a curated marketplace where we would choose who would sell on there, and there would be a live functionality like Whatnot as well as a store functionality. So you'd be able
See,
to.
I never got any emails about this thing over the last 2 months, but also I'm wading through a lot of adult emails
I had
that
somebody-
people signed me up for. So
I had the main guy messaging me, and I didn't really take it serious until I heard from you guys. I just thought it was like just a random thing, but apparently it's a big
Well,
deal.
I mean,
didn't know.
I've heard about it for a while. I saw it. I actually responded
Kevin's
to both
heard
of
about
the
it for a
emails.
while. He's only been obsessed with it for a week.
No, whatever. I wasn't obsessed, but I told
Kevin,
Dave to look
not
at it.
obsessed.
He's like, all right.
Kevin will change on a dime if
I
there's
will.
money involved.
I'm tempted
guys.
to change
On a-
now. Right now.
Yeah.
What are you
Okay,
going to
so no,
join?
listen.
What are you going to? What
So let's talk.
podcast are you going to join, Kevin? Come on.
AI picks. He needs
Yeah,
to
dude, do it. Let's talk movies, Kev.
I'll get that approval rating up to 96.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's not great. Okay, so I watched a lot of Pete's live. I went
Yep.
actually over to District and I watched some other people doing lives on there answering Q&As because there's a lot of questions about it, right? And so basically, like top level, the way I see it, and Kevin, correct me because you've been researching it too, is like you said, they say, hey, Trash to Cash.
I have done
you can
no
have a
research,
marketplace.
FYI.
Yes, we didn't think you would. But Trash to Cash, you could have a marketplace. And in your marketplace, you can bring in sellers. And then they can all list stuff on your marketplace. The benefit for those sellers is twofold. One, slightly lower fees, not way lower fees, but like 12.9% fees instead of eBay's 15%. Unless they use PayPal, because PayPal has higher
Depends.
fees, then it's more like 14%. That's what I've learned in all the lives I've been watching. So
Depends on the
fees are
marketplace.
slightly lower. Yeah. But in general, like just the base level from, I literally watched 3 lives today. They all said 12.9%. And that includes credit card processing. So that's literally all things wrapped up together. It's 12.9, which is
that
generally
means it's
cheaper than eBay.
probably 2.9% for the processing. That's Whatnot.
It is.
That's all.
Yeah.
Right?
And then 10% is the platform fee. So, like I said, it's
not really.
Well, I'm just saying the 3
Okay,
streams I
all
watched
right.
today, this is what they all said. It's 10% and then 2.9 for processing
There's
unless
some-
you use PayPal where it's 3.9. That's literally what every stream said. So that's the information I have based on what I've heard is that it's around there, which is, again, it's cheaper than eBay fees in most cases, especially since everyone's promoting on eBay.
I'm promoting all
Right.
of my. Here's what's increased my sales this week. By the way, guys, 50% promoted listings. I have sold out so many items. I am in the green or red. I'm not sure which is which, but I'm in one of those. The one where
This
you
stuff
lose
is
money.
leaving your house, yeah.
I'm spending a lot of time losing money, and I feel productive.
All right.
Now, so I got curious, and Kevin
Krylov.
mentioned
It's
this
all
thing.
because of
I looked some
Krylov.
stuff, and I messaged the little company while Kevin's on the phone with me. I messaged like the little contact us thing, And instantly they're right back and they set up a meeting with me, right? Instantly. So I get on it. I didn't really know what I was doing. I basically I set up a meeting with these people. I get in there. I'm like, what do you do? And they're like, oh, this is our platform. And he like starts showing. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And so, I think it sounds interesting. I think Kevin and Carrie and me are interested in making our own, right, Kevin? At some
Yeah,
point,
I
that'd be
am.
the
I
goal.
think there's incredible upside, but I see some serious pitfalls. I see some serious roadblocks and potential
Roblox. Those are
potential
bolos, by the way.
danger.
Yeah.
Look, any platform, take Whatnot. Let's look at Whatnot for because a lot of people never heard of this thing before, right? Think about eBay for a second. eBay is the bad guy to a lot of resellers.
You got to be careful with the hand motions, by the way. Just FYI.
Okay.
That's the OnlyFans hand motion.
Gotcha. So eBay's the bad guy a lot of times. So if you're, one of these creators, and of course we talk about Pete, if it's your marketplace and things don't go right, or even if they do go right, but it's everybody, there's always disgruntled people. There's always people with higher expectations than what actually is going to come of it. Then you're the scapegoat. You're the bad guy, and I don't want to be the bad
this is
guy.
Where I struggle with that, and this is the way Kevin's gonna play this. He's gonna make me defend this platform.
Yeah.
That's a good plan. Okay, but
it's
I'll do
easy
it
for
because
me. I can just play dumb.
Yeah, he's a Jedi Master. Yeah. Okay, so this is the thing that kind of weirds me out because I watched Pete's live again, and people were like giving him a hard time, like, oh, how are you gonna deal with returns? How are you gonna do this? And I think part of that is because he's setting this expectation that it's his website. And it's really not. It's his marketplace within District's website. But it's just weird. They want you to do it that way. It's just weird.
That's how they're going to draw their audience. Now, just like Whatnot, and Whatnot's kind of grown out of this phase, but it's still there to some degree. You first need sellers before you can have buyers. Obviously, right?
Yeah.
You can't attract people to a website that's
I went on
Reseller
anything. Information Network, and I wanted to buy something to support those guys. And I couldn't really find anything I wanted, so I just bought a little sports banner thingy from Vintage Sports Flips because I like them. I don't know what to do with it.
I did too.
But I just wanted to support it.
Connection. So
yeah, but it wasn't anything I wanted on there. No plush.
Well, not yet, right?
Couldn't find any plush.
if you're introducing new marketplaces, and inside of these marketplaces, you're now introducing, depends on which one, maybe 20 sellers in a marketplace, maybe 200, maybe 1,000 sellers in a marketplace, and you haven't established buyers yet. That's a problem. You're just gonna have.
I feel like
Kevin.
I feel like we should lay a little bit more foundation of what this thing is, like just a high level, like what the heck are we talking about for people who haven't been following this, and I just want to lay that. Like to me, the way I best described it after learning about it is like imagine an antique mall where you go out and you rent a booth, like Harry Tornado is with his little gumball machine shenanigan things where he's just losing money on a daily basis.
Like, why even bother?
So he goes in there and he pays money for this booth. Kevin, you have 2 booths still in Bedford, or you don't? You have 1 booth, and you pay monthly, whatever to be there. That's not really how this website works. And do they also take a commission off your sales?
Yes.
Or do you just pay a monthly fee? Okay, interesting. So this is like an online version.
Although
of
I do know some people who get free booths. Just saying. Because they draw in an audience.
That exactly? But hold on, isn't that exactly what this website is? Like you bring sellers in, they get a free booth. You just take a commission off their sales.
We're basically
so very
doing
much like an antique mall,
the trash to cash marketplace antique.
So, anyways,
shop,
this is a platform like a Whatnot, like an eBay, where basically it gives people the power to open up their own antique mall, and they can bring sellers in and let them sell in their antique mall. That's literally what this website is. It's a cool concept. The coolest thing that me and Carrie were excited about was that it basically has like a little Whatnot platform in your antique mall. And you can literally do Whatnot streams in the Trash to Cash antique mall. And your Whatnot streams get pushed out to the whole Trash to Cash audience. So if we brought in, 700 people that wanted to shop in our marketplace, every time, let's say, Vintage Sports Flips went live in our marketplace, then everyone would get a notification, Trash to Cash is live. They'd go in and it would be Vintage Sports Flip selling, not us. So it gives exposure to people like who are on Whatnot or selling for 8 hours a day and have 3 people in there. I think that's really
if the live aspect works is the most interesting part of it. And from what I understood, you could even go on live and sell other people's stuff, for example. Like you could go on, they had stuff for sale. I don't know how you put the stuff on the screen, but you basically could sell stuff out of their store. There's a lot of interesting integrations, kind of community-wise that you can do that you can't really do on Whatnot yet.
Interesting
So
ones using
works,
social media. Like let's
yeah,
just
basically.
I'm going to still mention a couple of things that I see as big issues, but let's just say hypothetically that I don't know, let's say that Mike finds let's say that Rod finds a giant, load of LJN, wrestling figures, and he posts them on the marketplace. And then he posts.
There's no way.
You
Mike
could,
would never post it. If he found it, he would just keep it in a storage unit for 4 years.
or whatever this thing's called. And you can share, Dave, because it's your marketplace. If he's selling in it, you could share it out on your social media, and people literally could claim it and be invoiced from your social media. So
that part I don't really understand. That's that magic.
No, so here's
thing.
the thing. Like, you could do a story on your Instagram with a button. Basically, if they respond claim on your Instagram story, they will be sent an invoice with the amount. You just click on that invoice and you can pay.
So, Dave, your power of your social media just sold that item of Rod's
someone
on your marketplace.
But Rod ships it from his house. It stays in his hands.
But inherently in all this is risk. Because if your marketplace, why? Because if you're, okay, let's take the antique booth for a second. If the antique booth is charging you this much money and then they're charging you fees and you're not selling nothing.
But aren't they only being charged? They're only being charged if they sell, though.
In other words,
they're not like a month. There's not a monthly charge to sell with us.
Okay,
it would just be a charge if they sell.
I agree. I totally agree. Okay, so
but
there's a
difference.
difference.
That doesn't even feel like a charge because it's just fees like it is on eBay.
Forget that for a second. Let's say you spend 4 hours a week listing stuff in this marketplace and you don't get any sales.
Well, I thought you could do uploads of CSVs. Just cross
you can if you want to have your marketplace flooded with inventory with very few buyers to begin with, or flooded with inventory that you're representing in your marketplace that you don't even like. Maybe the pictures stink. Maybe the reseller's not good.
But isn't that on brand for what we provide for people? It's trash to cash.
No, but that's not going to succeed.
Hold on, though. I still wouldn't call it a risk because Vendu, right? You have the power to cross list to Depop. Nothing's going to sell there. But do you get mad at Vendu or List Perfectly that you listed all this stuff on Depop and nothing sold? Is that their fault? I don't get mad at Depop either.
But you would quit using the service
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, if you're spending time listing, right? Because you can transfer a file over, but you still are getting new inventory and listing and doing all that, and there's no sales. There's no buyers over there yet. There's very few. There's going to be more, I can imagine. That's the key with like somebody like Crazy Lamp Lady who brings a huge buyer base already. But we're resellers.
But again, I still don't honestly see how that's a risk.
Okay, wait a week.
It might annoy
you'll start
people.
to see the feedback from people. We'll see. And it's just like Whatnot, where you saw that feedback.
But again, how is it a risk? What do you lose?
Okay, let's say Death Pile
The
Picker
website doesn't get
comes
sales.
to you and
Oh, well,
says-
who cares? It was fun to try it.
Says, I want to sell in your marketplace. And
that's a risk. Because
exactly.
We know him.
So there you go. So
that's why we deny it and we do not let him.
Who's this?
Okay, so
Risk
now you're
averted.
picking who gets to sell in it and who doesn't get to sell.
I want Mike on there. If Mike's not on there, I don't want to be on there.
So if you're on social media and you're marketing yourself not just to resellers but to buyers, and I think that's why the three of us have a huge audience of buyers as well as sellers. But if you are marketing yourself to sellers and they come on and sell on your site and you say no, you can't, you got an issue. Or if you do the other way and say, yes, everybody can sell on there, then you're going to see a ton of people complaining that way too. Because too many sellers without enough buyers at the beginning is an issue. So it's incumbent upon the marketplaces to bring buyers in and the people who sell in the marketplace to bring buyers in. So it's going to have to be a collaborative effort, which I love doing, which is why I'm intrigued by it.
I think I'm just struggling with the word risk versus the word,
Okay.
poorly used time, right? Like maybe it doesn't work out, but it doesn't mean it's like risky. Like, I don't know. Like someone might be annoyed. Oh, I didn't sell anything on there. I'm going to stop selling on there. Fine. Then they're not a seller anymore and you bring someone else in.
But what if they're a member of your audience?
They're not going to get mad at you.
What if they're a member of Discord?
Will they stop liking you just because not a lot of people bought stuff?
I know a lot of people that stopped liking Whatnot after they got on there and lost money. A lot of them.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's true.
Yes.
That's silly. They probably shouldn't dislike Whatnot. That's kind of a silly
I
take.
maybe agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm just saying, I think that it's going to be incumbent. The best marketplaces, whoever does take this risk, and I think it has to be folks that have audiences and whatever to create the marketplace. Whoever takes that, I think it's a risk. Dave doesn't think it's a risk.
No,
Whoever takes that risk, I'm all about
He's a
taking
pink
risks,
straw.
y'all. I mean, I bought a 24-foot trailer for a lot of money.
That
To
was
go with
a
Mike,
big
Death Pile Picker,
Big
that's a huge
mistake.
risk. I did decide to get a sticker on his instead of the wrap so I could take it off whenever I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would.
But
He bought the
whoever does
20-foot
that-
trailer and he doesn't want to go to Florida for a 150-mile yard
know.
sale. Like, why did he buy the thing?
Yeah, what kind of shenanigans are going on?
It's not
over
on
there?
the schedule. Not on the schedule. There's not enough time to set it up and to do the whatever. So,
Okay.
well, that's scheduled out for next year. We've got events already planned.
Too much risk. Too much risk.
Put this
Dave.
one on next year's schedule then, Kevin.
I'm just saying, the marketplaces that will succeed will figure out a way to bring buyers. Because if you bring buyers, your sellers are satisfied, and you've done your job. Because there is a job of the person who's marketplace, and that is to bring buyers.
Cheap.
So the
cheap
risk
lemonade,
is the risk of failure.
cheap lemonade and homemade
Yes.
baked goods will bring in
The risk
buyers.
is the risk of failure. See, if you just embrace failure,
I
like
know,
me, you
and
don't
this
see it
is
as
why
a
it's
risk.
perfect
Like
for
it's
Dave.
totally a different brain.
It's all
Like,
a
I'm just like,
journey,
whatever,
man.
We failed.
Dave
It's
takes
all a journey. It's all
chances.
smoke and mirrors, man.
Like
Dave
I'm
just
the
started
kind
What
of
is
guy who
reality?
takes
Stop the
1,000 shots because I know one's
agree.
gonna hit,
I
and
agree.
I
Exactly,
don't really
dude.
look at it as
He's
a
like
risk if it misses.
he's like the anti Kobe Bryant. He's like not good at it, but he still
I'm
shoots.
Gretzky. The only
Yes,
shots you miss are the
Gretzky.
ones
He
you
never
don't
missed.
take, right?
Yeah,
never missed.
he is the all-time. Well, no, he isn't anymore. Anyway,
Yeah, he is.
No, okay, so
Is he still?
so
The scorer, not goals. I think that's right. Anyway,
So I want to talk about like the
Let us know,
most
hockey fans out there.
controversial thing about Pete's, and Kevin probably wouldn't
Controversial.
want me to bring this up, but I'm bringing it up anyways.
No.
And it's like the number one comment on Pete's thing is
Uh-oh.
about how someone asked him during his stream, "What is your cut of the sales for the seller, for the buyers, or for the sellers, whatever?"
I love it.
You know, if
Let's
it was
tell
me,
'em.
if someone had asked me that and I didn't want to share it, I would just be like, well, it's 10% plus credit card processing fees. I get some of the 10%, and
yeah.
District gets some of the 10%. I don't know why that's a hard answer, but
because
Pete,
that's not what it is.
it's not what it is.
No, District gets
Okay, so-
5%. I don't know if I'm supposed
at
to
that.
say this.
No.
but I'm saying-
What I said, no, I know that. But what I said is if I didn't want to share that, I would just say it's 10% total, and the owner of the marketplace gets a little, and District gets a little.
Okay.
Like that would be the vague way to answer. But Pete, the way Pete answered it was like sus. Like I'm gonna bring out the millennial or the Gen Z talk. It was sus.
Sus. It was sus.
Like, 'cause-
on
'cause
Granny. He wasn't on Granny enough.
He's like, that's a very personal question, and you shouldn't be asking that. And I was like, it's like a generational gap.
Well,
Kind of
thing,
like
I
a
feel
boomer
like.
answer a little bit.
It is kind of a boomer answer.
How dare you?
I like Pete, but it kind of came across like something my dad would say.
well,
that's,
I would
that's all
say
I'm saying.
this, Dave. You're not answering the question right now.
You just answered it. You
Yeah,
said 5%.
Dave.
I said
5%.
5%, but you said
So isn't it 5
10.
and 5? Isn't that how it works?
It
If
can
that's
work
the-
that way. You could charge.
It's the percentage
20%.
you choose over 5%
think about it this
is
way.
our cut.
Let's just say.
See,
that,
I wasn't
obviously,
in the meeting. I don't know as much
Let's
about
just
the
say
percent
that
and all that.
Pete and I knew about this before the meeting. So let's just say that, and I think these people are taking huge risks. I have tremendous respect for them, and they're building something that can benefit everybody if it works. So I've got nothing but props for both of them.
Yes.
So
agreed.
if I had a marketplace, let's say Crazy Lampley's marketplace was the number one within like 30 hours. I mean, it just shot right to the top, right? But that's members, that's people who want to sell, want to buy, whatever. So whatever marketplace performs the best, don't you think that they could demand more from their seller? If you have a choice to sell in Crazy Lamp Ladies or to sell in Death Pile Pickers marketplace, where's the bigger audience? Sorry, Mike, I keep picking on you. Let's pick on Dan in Demand. He was getting down on whatnot the other day.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I love
Okay.
Dan, so we'll just
I
promote.
rated
We'll go
Dan
check out his
yesterday.
channel. If you could choose which marketplace, would you rather pay 8% to selling hers or 3% to selling his? Where are the
Probably
buyers? It's like an
Jocelyn's.
antique
Yeah,
booth.
probably
You get
Jocelyn's.
an antique booth that's on the main highway that's got traffic like crazy. Aren't you willing to pay a little bit of a
Yeah.
higher percent? It's
Yeah.
the same promoted
You
listing.
might not pay
deal.
anything for the antique shop that's like out in the middle of nowhere that's run by like, just animals and stuff. Like just
No, so I don't. I
rodents.
mean, listen, I don't think it needs to be hidden. My whole point was that it doesn't need to be hidden. I was surprised that it was being hidden, and I didn't know maybe Maybe, maybe you could
Well,
negotiate
okay, I
district
can
into
see the
taking less
argument
than 5. Maybe that's why he
is
was hiding it.
somebody's asking, I respect that. It's like if somebody asked me how much money I'm making, I'm like, "Dude, forget you, buddy. I'm not telling you. I kind of get
People
it,
only
right?
say that if they make way too much. You know that, right?
Oh my gosh.
Carrie would have been ready with a good quip, but he was.
I was
doing
just muted. I
this.
didn't even. Was I muted for a long time?
Thank
That's
goodness.
No,
probably what
not
That
was
was
long. A
good.
couple
happening.
I don't
seconds.
have that
Couple
power.
seconds.
But
Yeah.
it's the same thing on Whatnot, right? It's going to be a social media thing to draw in an audience. And then if it gets big, then there's going to be a place for all kinds of sellers. That's the way I see it. You got to you could bring in thousands of or thousands of sellers, but if you don't bring in tens of thousands of buyers, it's not going to work. So my mind is if we're going to do something like this, which I love to build something around community, so I'm all in, but it is a roll of the dice. What's the strategy to bring in buyers? Buyers, buyers, buyers. If you can bring in buyers to your marketplace, everybody's happy.
Well, yeah. So it's a balance of like you have to keep your sellers happy because they're selling stuff, but you also have to give buyers deals and have inventory that they
You could
want.
also
Yeah.
you could also talk to me about this. Someone who's actually run an antique booth for many years.
Yeah.
When I used to have
And
my
you like
auction
antiquing.
house.
Have you ever seen that in Urban Dictionary? Antiquing?
Yeah, antiquing. Yeah, I've done it.
Yeah, okay.
I've done it. There's a lot of people who do it, but here's what we ended up doing long term for our consigners and stuff. We sucked at it pretty bad. Like, because it's hard. It's hard to bring people into your physical store. We ended up doing free deliveries and delivering their stuff, which helped a lot. And then ultimately, we ended up just picking our friends and only charging them when they made money. We didn't even charge a booth rental by the end because it was just too much pressure to charge people every month and them not being happy. And
Now,
Well, that
there's
is
some
actually the benefit of these things over
yeah,
an
is we're
antique
not
mall is there is no
exactly
booth
we're not
fees.
charging a monthly fee.
Yeah, I would also. There's also been. I don't want to trash it because I think that a lot of their ideas are groundbreaking and really take power away from the big giant. It been 10 years ago. I'm a reseller. What do you sell on eBay or Amazon? Now it's like, geez, how many places can you sell and how many different ways can you sell? I like that world better, although it's more stressful to my mind. And so that's what this is, and it gives more personal attention. Like for instance, if we were to do something like this and we have sellers there, you know, they're going to get a much more personal response to an issue, not like, eBay's going to kick you off and never talk to you again. There's a connection there that gives power to a lower level that I think is way more beneficial. And, if you're Dave, like I used that example, if you find somebody put a cool item in your marketplace, you can feature it. You can put it at the top of the listings. You can do feature auctions for the week. You can do all kinds of
Which is
things to help
cool.
other people sell stuff and use your
I
social
remember
media to do it. I love that. Same
I think
idea
it was
with Whatnot and
Fizzy
rating
this
people.
and that. Fizzy this and that was one of the first people ever to buy something off my NC flipper, like where I was like, oh, this person bought something, and she
Mm-hmm.
put her little like store name,
Mm-hmm.
right? And back then I didn't have much sales or content,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, let's go look at her store, and I went and looked together, and I
Mm-hmm.
featured this really cool like 3-headed dog from Harry Potter, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's such a cool item, someone should buy this. And I think that is kind of cool because you find those cool items, and it's like even if you don't have the money or the resources to buy it, or don't think you should buy it at a particular point, or you already have one, you could then just promote the item on
Yeah.
your like, yo guys, have you
Or
seen this? This is cool.
think
And it's a
about
good
the little
deal.
community that we built here. Think about our Discord and whatever. And I've seen you push out some people's shows who are in the Discord. Can't do it
Yeah.
for everybody, but you can support those people who have supported you. That's awesome. But on the flip side, then somebody from the outside looking in looks at it and it's like, oh, this is just a little, cabal here, and you're just helping each other out, and you're not about resellers and what. I just see there's issues that aren't just clear cut. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, but you look at like Whatnot, right? You don't just instantly become a seller on Whatnot. You have to get
Mm-hmm.
approved. Right, there's a process where they go, actually I know they go look at your eBay store, they look at your feedback, they make sure you have good reviews, they make sure you're
Right.
in the right
But now you're
category
the
so they
one
don't have
making
too
that
many sellers
decision,
in the right
Dave.
category. Yeah, no, I know, and that's why it's like for me, if the temptation for me would be just like, yeah, everyone's in, but you're right. Like if it's a bad seller and a lot of people have bad buying experiences,
I
or
think you
if
got
you
to
have
let
5
people.
million of the same plush, then someone's gonna come to your store and like everyone's gonna be having to price cut each other. So
Yeah,
it's tough.
and not
Yeah.
enough buyers, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so there's issues, but I think that what solves all of them is to bring buyers. And it's going to take not just one marketplace, not just two. It's going to take tons of marketplaces with tons of people pushing it out and bringing in buyers. And then once they're there, they like the experience, they stay, just like any other platform. So there's amazing ideas. I absolutely
The thing
love
that is the
some of
most
these
appealing
ideas.
to me is
Whatnot's
okay. So I did.
stealing some of them.
Well, the thing that's most appealing to me is I did this big giant Whatnot stream, and I sell all this stuff for 8 hours, and you know, I just would love the idea of being able to do that on our own thing. If we were to have a trash to cash marketplace,
doubt.
just have that whole thing be on ours.
Totally.
And in my like impromptu dumb customer meeting, not the one you guys had later, but my dumb customer meeting, I was asking him things, and he was like, "Yeah, you can like, we're gonna do a raid system, so you can raid other people in your marketplace. So it's like, I go live for 8 hours, then I raid Pickin' and Punchin', who's in my marketplace, and he raids Pittsburgh I don't know, anyone who else might be in our marketplace. They just keep raiding and raiding and raiding, and it's all the trash. Basically, the trash to cash was live for 5 days straight, and everyone could just come in and see like our live. I mean, that seems fun to me.
It seems awesome. It seems amazing. And the thing, like, I think the big experiment is look at Crazy Knife Ladies. They've got them lined up all day Black Friday.
Oh, do they?
One after another.
Whatnot's got no fees on Black Friday. That's pretty appealing too. Yeah.
So this is the part I love: new players, new competition. There's other options for different people. I love that. The downside of it is you can't do everything. You just can't do everything.
I try.
But I know. But Jay, I try, but it drives me insane, and I just sometimes want to throw up my hands. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a couple features about it that are just so. I just think they're so amazing that it's like you don't want to miss an opportunity for something. For something like this,
dude. You know what you do to get your sellers, Kevin? A competition. Like survival, we go to an island. We rent an island.
I like this,
right? And everyone's naked, just because you're a swinger. And just everyone's got to be naked.
Yeah, it's on brand. It's on brand. We got to keep this on brand.
And we all just do like rope climbing, butt naked. That's my idea. That's the whole thing.
Stream it live.
And then it's not even like a competition. It was just a thing to do. Just to hang out. Just to
put
hang
a fuggler
out.
at the top of the rope.
That's like that episode of Seinfeld where like his girlfriend always walks around naked, and he's like, George, it's not good naked. It's bad naked. She was coughing and doing all these, trying to open a jar of pickles. That's rope climbing. It's not good naked.
Competition, but I don't know. I think there's different strategies being used. Some people are opening the floodgates to all the sellers.
A Discord thing built into it. There's a
that's really cool.
I like.
That's pretty cool. It is honestly, like I was playing around with it a lot today.
Discord, Whatnot,
eBay,
it. All combined.
It is. Into one. It's Discord, Whatnot, and eBay all combined into one thing. And dude, if it works, it could really threaten those other platforms. That's the crazy thing. The question is, can it work? I don't know. And that's why I said, you said it's risky. To me, it's like, I'll try it. It may or may not work, but I'd try it.
Why I think it's risky is because of how other people feel about it, who are normal resellers, who aren't.
Why are you worried about platforms? There's always going to be somebody in a log cabin upset that you're, not only using Bonanza, you're also using eBay and its newfangled system.
Dude, I got the funniest comments. Speaking of Kevin and how horrible he is in his log cabin.
Yes, thank you.
So Tina sent me this comment.
Tina sent this comment.
Yeah. She said, "Hey Dave, I love you. Not Commonwealth so much. He seems conniving."
Ooh.
Okay, there's a good title for you. Am I conniving or something?
Can we Google conniving real quick?
But then an hour later, and this is on my 8-hour live stream, people are going and watching the replay all 8 hours, which is kind of cool. But he responds an hour later. He says, "But Dave, I don't like how you don't let Tina do much, or how you take stuff out of her hands. It seems rough." Like, what are you talking about?
Because Tina begs to be on the camera, right?
Tina does not. Well, I'm really curious, like, what I took out of her hands roughly. Like, she was on the stream for like 30 minutes, and she just was handing me stuff.
If you're live for 8 hours, they're gonna see probably a fight that you have with your wife. Just like you can't hide.
They don't fight. Tina's too sweet to fight.
There is something to be said. Like, there is sometimes people who, when they're live, you see another side of them, right? Like, I've heard stories of people being mean to viewers and stuff. Well, yeah, or you see all of art.
Well, no,
all
he's
the
just
time, I think.
all of art.
But no, I think I did. I'm not going to go too much into my live stream, my 8-hour live. It was really hard work, but it was really productive financially.
I was getting tired
and
just tuning in every
emotionally.
few minutes.
People seem to like it though. I gave away a ton of crap. I sold a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna do it again. I think I'm gonna do it again.
I was
December
in for 3
1st.
minutes, and I got bored and I left.
I want to do it like at least once a month, Carrie, until the container's empty. That's gonna be a
There you
saga on my channel, like Phoenix Resale collecting all the video games. It's gonna be Dave
Empty
clearing out
out.
his death pile.
How are you going to do that when you keep buying crap on Whatnot from Mike?
Yeah.
No, it's all right. That's the in the house stuff. I'll just like slowly move it all into my house. Hey, okay, so
That's the key.
speaking of Discord and whatnot and all that stuff, we have a Discord. We have Patreons, patrons, whatever you want to call them, and we have some that are as wealthy as Kevin. Did you know
Yes,
that,
they are.
Carrie? They're as
Yes,
wealthy, which is a high amount of money.
Yeah,
It's
Lots of
hard to even
taxable income.
calculate. It's incalculable amount of money.
Incalculable.
It's like incalculable. And Carrie, will you want to just shout out some of those members that are at that level?
Yeah. Gosh. We
CJ
got
Benz Fines.
CJ Benz Fines.
Thank you, dealer.
We've got what was that guy that used to be the
All right, shut up. The Flipper Skipper, Lady Arbitrage. Thank you as always,
Lady
Don.
Arbitrage, yeah, thank
No
you.
Nose Pickers, Remarkable, Brian
Nose.
Sampor Beal, Happy Hound Trading, Matt's Props Pursuit, Harry Tornado, Traveling Shopper, Superhero Headquarters, Vintage Sports Flips, Paul's Merch, ABC Matt, Brian Big and Fun, New Jersey Picker, Raise Hack Resale, Logan Markey, and Biscuit Butt.
All right, so there you go. A hypothetical here. So they come in and they're like, "Hey, we're in your Patreon. We're in there. You know, of course we get to sell in there, right?" Just
That's
like
a tier.
automatic.
That's a tier that we sell, Kevin.
Oh, I love that. Let's sell the tier. It's like buying a booth in an antique mall. $150 a month, you get to sell in our
only
thing.
people. See, there you go. See, and you don't see the problem there.
That is a problem.
Dude, no, you know what, Kevin? You don't have to hurt anyone's feelings if everyone's got to pay. Problem solved.
Yeah.
$150 a month, baby.
But then you can't keep Art out getting naked and cussing on the streams. How you gonna keep
true,
him out?
yeah. He ain't gonna pay $150.
That's probably true.
Yeah,
He-
he'll probably see if you'll pay it for him. Maybe.
Yeah. He'll sell he'll sell it on Whatnot. Buy my spot in the Trash to Cash district shop. And someone has to like sponsor him.
I'll just
It'll just
predict
be
that
Art
there'll
of
be-
Resale sponsored by Bob's Burgers or whatever. Wait, what did you say?
I just
Kevin?
think
You were
you
gonna
did,
say
well, I
something.
could just see lines being drawn like there were for Whatnot. And,
You do
and
draw
they broke
lines,
down
don't
over
you?
time. I will say this. They broke down over time.
Oh, there's still a lot of people who hate Whatnot for no reason whatsoever.
Well, look at me. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go into
Yeah,
it.
but-
I did one show in like 2
Old-fashioned.
years. And then
Yeah,
I
now
don't-
you
still to
now
this
we can't
day,
get
I've
you
only
off of the
done-
platform.
How many
It's
shows
just-
do you think
it's
I've
bad.
done on Whatnot? How many shows do you think I've done?
By
12.
yourself? None.
No, total.
12.
12.
12 is
No.
my answer.
No,
Nah,
I've
probably
done.
7.
I think I've done
8.
10. 10 or 9.
I was-
10.
Yeah.
Well, dude, you acted
was
like
my
12
guess.
was way off. I was off by 2.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
No,
out of
Dave,
all
no.
These years, Whatnot, I've resisted doing it because it's. I don't know. It's. I don't know.
Because you're an old man.
No,
Yeah,
you
you're an
gotta.
old fuddy
Change is hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevin doesn't want to learn anything. Kevin is at that point of life where he's like, no, I'm not learning anything new. Yeah, I'm not going to learn. I heard
like,
Heather
yeah.
on that other podcast. She was like, Kevin can't do
That
anything.
other-
He can't fix a toilet. He can't do anything. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, you
Sounds
knew
about
this,
right, though.
Dave.
It doesn't
You already
surprise me.
knew this.
Yeah, but it was good to get the world out there to hear it. Okay, really quick. We have talked about this before an hour mark. Trash to Cash, Orlando Bash.
Yeah.
I just put out some feelers. I said, actually, I put the links for the tickets in last week's podcast, and no one noticed except for one person. Actually, 2 people. but I did put out some feelers on our Discord and Patreon, and just on our Discord and Patreon, we have 37 people who are interested, either mildly or highly interested in buying tickets, right, for this thing. $150 a ticket. What did I say? It was 35. We're only gonna have 60 tickets. And the tickets are available right now. The link's down below. I think and hope we will sell out pretty quickly. We don't plan on having a huge event. It's going to be pretty intimate. It's basically going to be, like Kevin, whether or not you and Kevin have.
That is something you guys will have to discuss with Kevin personally.
But
It's like,
in
no
general,
guarantees.
No guarantees. No guarantees he even does any of that. But we would like you to think so,
We're
regardless.
highly suspicious. There's a lot of evidence.
Yes. So, but
If
but
I
no,
come to Florida, Dave, I'm coming alone. Just saying.
Yeah, just let's leave that one. Let that one sit. Just let that one sit.
Just put a big hand
That's his-
right on the screen at
That's
this point.
that's the only kind of swinging I do, just alone.
Okay, anyways, so yeah, we want you guys to come. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna get to meet other resellers. You'll get to make some relationships with resellers. Not that kind of relationship, Kevin. Easy boy. And you'll get to go sourcing.
You gotta stop chewing on that Zen. It's making you too wild.
Up arguing the rich as Kevin tiered. I've given up all of. I feel like there's someday I'm gonna give up arguing that I'm not a swinger. I'm just gonna accept.
You're just gonna give in to the fact that we called you out on something that's been obvious to the community for years. Everybody who's watched a Commonwealth Picker video, when you're out there at the garage sales and the flea markets, wherever you are, there is an overt sexuality that we can all see.
I wouldn't hate it if someone with too much time literally got the channel Commonwealth Swinger and just like made Photoshop and videos of Kevin on a swing. And that's all. It's just swinging content.
It's just like when I started doing like flip talk and stuff on TikTok. It was all just people doing backflips. It wasn't about flipping items. So just make it a swing set kind of vibe.
Yeah. Well, it's like when we asked for the bearded limoncello and it came in two forms. Yeah. Like I want the Commonwealth Swinger channel to exist, and it's literally just Kevin on swing sets. Like his head photoshopped on children.
I asked for something the other day on my Flipper channel. I pulled out
but you're talking to a bunch of old people. They don't know how to do that.
Oh my gosh! I sold a Minion Dave, and I said, "There's a Minion Kevin." I sold that 2 months ago, and I said, "We need a Minion Carrie." I said, "Somebody Photoshop me all of us as minions. Make me a Minion Carrie." Crickets.
Yeah,
crickets.
You got to give Dave the assignment. He's got mid.
I'm already working on everything. I'm working on it right now. Stand by. Show is on hold. I'm minionizing us. No, so listen, guys, come to the Trash to Cash Orlando Bash. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome.
Go buy a ticket, $150. I'm hoping we sell out really fast, and now is the chance. If you want to come, don't miss it. Don't miss it. Once they're sold out, they're sold out.
Oh my gosh! Somebody gave us a $10 super comment or whatever those are.
Super comment, huh?
We did go all Kevin as usual.
What did they say?
Turkey Ford Wolfman 5252. Thanks for making us laugh. Wolfman's goodies.
Hey, were any comments, positive or negative about my PowerPoint skills? Did anyone
like your PowerPoint?
Belittle my PowerPoint and say I clearly never did a professional PowerPoint? No, someone was in there.
People liked it.
Carrie, someone literally went in there and said, "You clearly never did a good or never were trained on how to do an actual good PowerPoint. That was horrible. Your centering was off on your first slide." He's like, "Your centering was so off on the first slide." I was like, "Do you watch our show? Did you watch this at all?"
Since when did it matter though? Like you've worked in a professional setting. Do they really care if your centering is off? No. They just want the information.
Centering also wouldn't be off if it was a real PowerPoint, guys. It was. Did you see the pictures that were in that
PowerPoint? There was a lot of very positive
and off-putting
comments, and there was a lot. I almost said during the podcast, I look like George W. Bush right there, and someone or maybe I did say that, but
I think you did say it. Yeah.
We also had the Taylor Swift controversy solved. Apparently, there's lots of people that chimed in on why this Taylor. They look identical, but one is worth far more than the others because there was an original release that later on was released again. Some people say because of ownership rights. Some people say because of some word that was in there that she wanted to take out and re-released it. And so there are two different releases. The old version, the first version, is the one that's worth a lot of money.
Okay, interesting. All right, well, so you were right and I was right. That's the result. We were both right.
Surprising.
I love it when that happens. Or we're both wrong. You tell me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Kevin's selling out to District. We covered that. Yes, Patreon, go subscribe because Carrie needs money. He can't afford his Frappuccinos. And also come to our event.
More of a cold brew guy, but that's all right.
I actually did the Kevin. I listened to our show. Kevin listens to our show every week. And Kevin always tells me, he listens to the show. He listens to the show to hear Carrie's jokes. And me and Tina were listening to it while we were packing for 16 hours yesterday or whatever it was. And we kept noticing jokes we had not heard during the show. And I was like,
there's a lot of
deep cuts, stuff. Like, I was like, wow, maybe he is valuable. Like, I thought he was a waste of space, but maybe he is worth having. Like, he does drop some nuggets. Yeah. It's just like little tiny things that me and Kevin just like talk over him and continue the reselling blather. And Carrie's just dropping just straight nonsense that makes me chuckle. So thanks, Carrie. Thank you for that contribution.
Very good. Now you'll start watching
Small penises.
Hey. Speaking of small penises, I
was
sold
trying
more on
to slip some in
Mercari.
for later.
That was too hard to
I
slip
sold
in small
more
penis. Oh
more
my
on
God.
Mercari than I did on eBay this weekend. And so
More
that's
Really?
well, okay, and this ties back into the district thing. Like, people say, "Oh, I heard it this week on I think the the Locker Room podcast." They were saying
One of
like
them.
one of them was saying, "Oh, we don't list. I don't cross list because I tried it and nothing sold." And I'm just like, "Well, but how much did you cross list and how long did you try it?" Because I
Or
think
what
we've all
type
done
items
that,
do you
right?
have?
I've listed like
How
I've listed
hard?
like 10 items on Poshmark and they haven't sold. Is it sold? Is that really Poshmark's fault, or is it because I listed 10 items, never shared my items, never did the closet crap? I mean, I think it's my fault that it didn't sell on there. So
Yeah.
I think the same can be applied to almost any platform. Like, if you are going to go on Pete's district thingy, then you're going to need to share your links. You're going to need a network. You're going to
It's
need to show
simple.
people that you're selling
If
on
there's
there, right?
success on the platform and you're not successful on the platform, wouldn't it ultimately be your fault? Because
That's what
you're
I
either
think.
too
Oh,
new,
yeah.
you don't have enough to sell, you don't know how to use the
Yeah.
platform yet. You're
Well,
whatever
this kid
reason,
that I'm
right?
paying, that I might be overpaying a little, he's a very nice, he's kind of my nephew, sort of, kind of. He's my nephew through marriage, essentially.
Okay, so that does not
Right.
count. You're letting
Yeah.
him know on the podcast you don't consider him a nephew.
He's not listening to the podcast. I'm sure of that. And he's doing pretty good, but I'm paying him a lot. And everyone's saying I'm paying him too much, and maybe I am, but it's family. Overpay.
What did
family
you sell
sometimes.
on Mercari?
What did I sell on Mercari?
Yeah.
Pictures
this-
of you naked, actually, that I had acquired. And
AI?
a lot of people, there's a good demand for them. I mean,
There
yeah, I
is.
am AIing some things bigger than they are in real life. I'm just going to tell you
Commonwealth
that.
Pecker
Right,
right
off the
there.
bat.
Oh my God.
What did I
Hey,
sell?
just
I
embrace
sold
it,
a
Kevin.
plush.
There's a market.
I sold a Winnie the Pooh plush for $60. He left. He asked me a
He was a
question
little-
and then he left.
That was a little slow
That's
for him
just,
to leave.
yeah. I mean, that
because
took
of
him a
that.
while.
I'm
He's getting
listening.
older though.
He was
I'm
having a
listening.
hard
Oh,
Plush.
time.
then why did you? Oh, you're
got
doing no.
plush.
He's spitting. And then every time he turns off his camera from
Oh,
now on, it'll be like,
yes.
oh, he's spitting out his
got
tobacco.
one of his Zen packs in, and he's always hyped
How is
up
that
on a...
not? How is that like not smoking though? Like that?
I was
or not
looking into
chewing,
it.
Not
It's
chewing.
just
It is
pure
chewing.
nicotine, isn't it? Like in
Yeah,
a
it's just
pouch.
chewing. He's chewing still. What, Kevin? Talk to us about this.
Kevin doesn't-
Forget
I don't
about
think
There's
Mercari.
Mercari.
likes
nothing to
talking
talk about. We might tell my wife spilled the beans on the other podcast.
She
that apparently
did.
we
She
can't
spilled the
mention.
beans.
Although,
Yeah, she- We've already mentioned like
Yes,
3
it
times
was-
the locker room. Yeah.
The reseller clickbait podcast.
she's
The
gonna be.
reseller
I'm
locker
hoping
room
number
clickbait.
1 over there for number 1 videos. I'm hoping she will be.
Okay.
Even
well,
though she slandered me twice, not true statements. But
she also stuck up for you quite a few times.
She did. She's a good girl.
Yeah, she stuck up for you. I sold a Jacoby Brown. Is that his name, Carrie?
Kobe Myers, right?
No, the guy
Uh,
whose autograph I sold.
Jacoby
Ellsbury.
Jones? I don't remember which Jacoby it was.
Whatever.
Jacoby
okay.
and
There are a lot
Myers?
of-
We don't need to get into it. You sold an autograph.
You
something.
sold an autograph
You
of a
sold
guy
a
named
plush.
Jacoby.
What else did you sell?
Yep. I sold. I'm trying to log in.
You're
I don't know
making
my
this up.
login.
I had the
My
biggest sale
point
of
is
anybody.
Oh,
this
2
week
pairs of
by
Levi's.
far.
I sold 2 pairs of Levi's.
Wow. Okay.
Ah, see, that threw you off because you were going to
Yeah,
say
that
that's the type
did,
of
that
items,
did.
and then I sold
Yeah.
some
I had the
freaking
biggest
Levi's,
sale.
and you were
Nobody
just like, I'm
cares,
an
but I did.
idiot. My name's
No,
Kevin, and
for
I'm
the
dumb.
I'm just saying that some items
Jacoby
on Mercari
Ford.
sell better.
Jacoby
They
Ford.
don't care though.
Jacoby Ford.
Yeah.
Jacoby
Jacoby
Ford,
Ford.
yes.
Jacoby Ford.
When I was,
Reliant K
yeah.
record for $45. The main Pioneer record for
was a one of one.
$130. And a baseball
Only
bat,
card in the
Kevin,
world
for
like it.
$32. And a video
$400
game.
sale.
Very nice.
Quite a
Pretty
wide
awesome.
array of categories, honestly.
Really proud. of
Yeah,
myself.
actually, very wide array for sure.
More
I'm
on
impressed.
Mercari than eBay. I don't
That's
know what Carrie. Carrie's
crazy
just
to
off
me.
making noise.
That's
No,
crazy.
I was just sharing that I had the biggest sale and that you guys.
Hey
don't
Dave,
care.
you know what I sold?
What
All
is
right,
your
what's your
sale?
biggest sale?
So you guys don't care though. I
I
don't.
do
I
We
want
were
to
care.
tell
talking
you
about
if you
cross
don't
listing.
care.
We were talking about cross listing, not the biggest sale. It just wasn't the.
But
the
that, I
topic, but
I
we
had
can
a
switch to your
thought and I wanted
topic.
to say it out loud.
Say your thought.
No, I don't want to say it anymore.
No,
Me and Kevin are
gosh.
committing to dead air until you say it.
No,
Dead
I
air?
sold.
No,
I
I'm
sold
not
a card. I sold a card for
Oh,
$400.
that's right. I saw that.
Was it
Yeah,
a
a one of
radiant?
one.
Was
Yeah.
it a radiant rookie?
It was a gold vinyl, one of one. Nikola Jovic. Go
Did
look
you
him up.
pull
Plays for
it?
the Heat.
How did you get it?
I got it out of a box break.
Oh,
Wow.
so you lost money.
So he no. Listen to this. It was 28. You want to hear this? It was $28 for the box break, but I had a $20 gift card that I got from
Ooh.
Chuck.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
how many
$8.
box breaks have you done and
Oh,
lost money?
I've definitely lost a significant amount of money over
Oh,
time.
this is
but
gambling.
that
This is
one
like my
time-
sister with her scratchers. Oh, I won
Yeah,
50
I
bucks. I'm
won-
like, how much did you spend? Well, I spent 600
See,
last
that's
month. This whole thing
you don't
didn't
need to
win.
think about that end of it. You only
Yeah.
think about the wins.
That's right.
And
That's
you
right.
just deal with the losses. So I was excited.
My brother,
You
went
guys
on-
can rain on my parade.
when we did a big Whatnot show, he went off for the first time to watch, and then he immediately went to the card section and did a break. He's only ever been on one of them things. Did a break and pulled out like a $2,100 card.
It's wild.
Wow.
Yep, and I don't think he's gone back.
The whole thing about the Mercari sales and selling more on Mercari than eBay is it's made me realize that like cross listing, you get out of it what you put in, and so that's why I'm gonna have Mikey start listing on Poshmark this week, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to do the sharing stuff. I know there's like Posher VA and all these apps and stuff to like share your closet, but I think like I'm gonna put the work in. And now that I've got him, actually I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna pay him to put the work in and see what happens. Because honestly, even though I'm paying him probably a little too much, I'm paying him $20 an hour. You know, he cross listed every one of those $300 worth of stuff that sold.
Right.
You know, in one afternoon. So
And if it's money you wouldn't have made otherwise, even if you're making anything on it.
Yeah.
If it's money you wouldn't have made otherwise, after you paid him, you know, say
I never would have cross listed it.
If he makes you $800,
yeah,
and it's only costing you $400, you just made $400 more dollars.
Yeah,
that you wouldn't have done, and you can source
the only time like
feed your habit more.
It didn't really feel like it was worth it. Is when he was in the shipping container with me.
Really?
Because
I thought, wasn't he the one entering the things?
He entered probably 15 things.
Oh, okay.
And he wasn't really. He's still pretty new, right? And he didn't really. I didn't give him good enough direction. I thought Tina had given him direction, but she hadn't. And so a lot of the time he was just standing behind me watching me, and he didn't like think of like, oh, I'm gonna go. Well, every time I'd go grab some stuff and put it in front of him, he'd list it. But as soon as he ran out, he wouldn't tell me. He would just stand there. So, you know.
Well, when you went to the bathroom, I offered him $21 an hour. I'm glad he turned me down.
Yeah. Well, no, but when I bring him into the garage and I say, "Hey, cross list," he'll cross list 250 items.
And I'm sure
in 3
he'll
hours.
get better. I mean, who wouldn't at his age want to work for $20 an hour with you as a boss? You know.
Exactly. So Poshmark is his project this week. I don't know if he'll get it all done, and I'm gonna get that all set up, and hopefully I have a weekend where Poshmark I sell even more.
I don't do really anything for Whatnot at all.
Exactly.
No.
For Whatnot?
I do eBay and I do the flipping and I do whatever. I don't curate the eBay or the Whatnot sales. I don't picture them. I don't list them, and I don't ship them. I don't do.
Well, I had him list a Whatnot sale for me too, actually. One that's coming up this week. He listed the whole thing.
Hey, you know what?
It's kind of nice to have someone to do that sort of stuff. Yeah.
I sold. Do you remember that sale down there at Prison of Profit Convention where I got those Dungeons and Dragons? I sold my last one.
Finally, dude.
Yeah, I made like $750 on this.
I got a stupid MCM mushroom. I sold that a while ago, but I did sell it. I got some MCM.
Got $135 for Basic Rules 1989 set 1.
Carrie, were you impressed that I knew about Radiant Rookies? Was that impressive to you?
Radiant Rookies isn't a thing, so I don't know what you're talking about. You just made something up.
I was watching a card break thing, trying to learn something. Radiating Rookie, Riley Green, Radiating Rookie. You've never heard of this?
Oh, maybe radiator.
It's worth $100.
Like radiator. I don't know.
It's worth $100.
That's a baseball thing. That's like a Bowman thing.
Radiating Rookie. You don't know what that is? I thought you were a sports card.
Honestly, guy. I don't know what that is. Yeah,
it's $100 card.
There's so many. There's like 5,000 parallels. There's so many parallels. Sports card talk. Everybody, edge of your seats. There's so many parallels with Topps baseball cards right now. There's literally ones with pumpkins on them, ghosts, stuff like that. It's too many of them. There's too many. It's confusing.
Well, that one's worth a lot of money.
I sold a laundry
It was in a box
basket.
break. What?
Oh wow.
I sold a Rubbermaid.
Are we talking about our sales now, Kevin? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
I didn't
know.
actually even mean to talk
by
about
this
that.
baseball card talk.
It was like 10
I
seconds
talked about
of baseball
cards for 15 seconds.
It's too much. Too much.
Gosh, you guys. I had to listen to you guys blabber about nonsense for like 30 minutes. I
never talk about Tupperware on here, ever.
Yeah. So stop it. You just
Okay,
mentioned
so I actually sold. We're going to talk about sales now, so let's do it. Fine, let's just lean
So you're
in.
You're just saying your sale. Kevin was about to say
we
his
already
sale.
talked about your sale.
Sold
Kevin said his sale.
laundry
He said
basket.
he sold the laundry
Beige,
basket. He said
cream.
He didn't give you any details what to look out
Give
for.
me more
He
details.
said laundry
What's
basket.
what's a bolo on laundry baskets? How much
Old
do you sell it
Rubbermaid
for?
laundry baskets in good
Old
shape.
Rubbermaid
So.
laundry.
How much?
How much can you spend on an old
I
Rubbermaid
paid
laundry
$1
basket
for it.
and make money?
I paid $1 for it. They told me I could have it for free. I paid $1 anyways because I'm a nice guy like that.
Do you know what podcast
pandering.
we honestly
Pander
don't mention
McPanderton.
enough, Carrie? We always like mention all these other podcasts, but that's
Roman.
usually because we're making fun of them. And
Anytime.
this podcast
Yes.
needs no making fun of because it's actually good.
Yeah,
the
which
Reseller
one?
Information Network.
Is it?
Like, why don't we talk
I've not
about
watched
that more?
it.
I
They have
talk
a good
about
show.
it
I
all
was
the time.
You do. You're the only one who gives them any credit. But I was listening to it today. I'm like, oh, this is actually a good show.
I listen
it's actually
to
informative.
it every Tuesday before this comes on. And between listening to them for an hour or so and then listening to our podcast, I have the whole week's like storyboards done. And I've listed like 15
Storyboards.
things.
What a nerd. You're so fake
Storyboards.
with your storyboards.
Just have an organic moment. Just like have a real human moment with people, Kevin.
I'm
Not
a
everything
teacher.
needs to be
I'm a
scheduled.
teacher. You
Are
see
you?
what
The top-
happens when I don't have it planned, Carrie. I start asking quiz questions, giving away anime.
That is true. That is
But the top
off-putting for
comment
everyone.
on Craigslist Hunters Live is, how is knowing your percentage a personal question? Because that's how he responded. Whatever happened to transparency was the top comment on his live, which I thought was interesting, throwing it back to that part of the conversation. But I think that's a little aggressive. Like, I don't...
You think?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, it's his business if he wants to share it or not.
He can share
I
it if he
don't see-
wants to. He doesn't have to. Whatever. Like,
I don't
and
think
who
it's that big of
knows?
a deal. Yeah.
I sold a
It
mushroom
really-
bread
but
box.
see, well, hold on. The reason it's not a big deal is that when you pay eBay, you don't know who gets what of each 10, 15% fees. Like, it doesn't matter. Just like if you sell on CraigslistHunter.net, like your fees total, if he said there's like 13%, it doesn't matter who it goes to. It's 13% fees to sell on that platform.
And he's
Look,
only
I'm
he's
sorry,
only
but-
allowing some people to sell on there anyway. So
If he's provided a marketplace that is selling stuff, he gets to choose the percentage. Then he chooses the percentage. And if you don't want to sell on it, don't sell on it. It's that simple.
I've said,
Yeah, exactly.
I've said for years, and hopefully eBay's not listening. It's an hour and 5 minutes in. I've said for years, I don't want to, but I would pay more to sell on eBay because where else can I get the kind of reach that I get on eBay? I don't want to pay more, but a reasonable amount more, I probably would still
But the
sell
more
on eBay.
platforms there are out there, the more options you have, the more competition.
That's
And
great.
it keeps prices low. They can only be so low.
Exactly.
These companies got to pay people. Think about how
Carrie-
much it takes to even respond to all these people and to all the work that goes
No,
into
AI
building
is
the
doing that,
platform.
dude. Robots.
Yeah, right.
Robots do that. Robots do it.
So, Carrie, I was talking to someone, and they said there was, like, especially in 21, a bunch of platforms popping up for sports card sales with 0 fees or 1% fees, like super low fees, but none of them succeeded because they didn't have the buyers. Is that true?
I don't know. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on during the pandemic, you know, with sports
Yeah.
cards especially. There was all sorts of, like, vaults was a big thing. eBay, if you guys know, has a vault for
Yeah, they have
sports
a
cards.
vault.
You can send your cards in, they hold it, and basically you can sell and resell without ever having to move the physical card if you don't want to. And there was a lot of
Weird to
vault.
me.
Yeah,
It's
there's a
the
lot of
stock
vaults that
market,
opened
Dave.
up.
It's the
Yeah,
commodities
And
market.
most of the
It's
vault
all that.
places, a lot of the vault places have struggled. If not, they're out of business by now.
Do people
So,
get their cards back when they go out of business?
It's a good question. I don't
You
know.
can buy and sell gold without ever touching.
I'm sure some did. Hopefully all of them did. I have no idea.
Yeah, anyways, I don't know how I got back on that topic. Just my brain does that sometimes.
Sold a
I need
mushroom bread
medication.
box, $170.
Nice.
Hey, I
It's
dropped
flavored
into a
like mushroom.
TikTok.
How much money?
$170 plus shipping.
For a bread box?
Nice.
Mushroom bread box.
Yeah, Mary mushroom, just like 70s mushroom. Yeah.
Wow.
That stuff's
Is it
very
glass
expensive.
or wood?
It was my consolation prize at the yard sale. This guy comes in there right in front of me, and there's just tons of Nike men's giant shoes in great condition. And he's like, "How much for them?" He's like, $5. And he's like, "I'll take them all." And I'm like, "Ugh."
You say
I
giant, so
found
is
that.
size is a bigger size good on Nikes?
Yeah, size matters for sure.
Because I got a whole bunch of Nikes. I don't know if I should have bought them, but they were like in all pretty good condition, and they were all size 14 this weekend. And I was like,
about
"How much for
tenacity,
all?" And
really.
they charged me $10 a pair, and I don't know if I did good or not. I haven't looked at them; they're still in my car, but it seemed like a reasonable deal. It
Yeah,
seemed like a reasonable
yeah.
deal.
It seems
$10
like
for some
reasonable.
nice
Depends
Nikes.
on the shoes, I suppose. For
There
sure.
were some shocks in there, and I've sold some shocks for $100, so I figured those would cover me. It was like 16 pairs. You know, it gets half my money back if I get 100.
I
out of
hate
those.
selling shoes. No offense, Dalton, but all offense meant. Shoes are terrible. I don't want to ever
Dalton,
sell them.
can you send me a
I'd rather
shoe
work at
tree
Burger
for
King
free?
again, and they won't.
I'll
They
pimp it
won't
for
have
you.
me back. But I
Yeah.
would rather work there than sell shoes. Is that weird?
My
I
new
just don't like
criteria:
shoes.
$50. Shoes, $50.
Yeah, I don't sell anything unless it's $1.50 free shipping. If it's over that, it's not worth my time.
There's a lot of money in shoes, yeah.
Shoes are pretty easy
There's a lot
to
of money.
sell. Why do you
Dude.
like? I don't like touching them, but they're not hard to
There's
sell.
a lot of
Just
money
take a
in
couple
plasma
pictures.
donation. There's a lot of money in a lot of stuff.
But
If
there's
you don't have to
literally like
clean
a
'em-
little number on them. I don't clean
Yeah.
them. I just list them. And see
Right,
if they
so
move.
you just got to buy them that are.
But I like
bad
to
shape.
lick everything before I sell it. And
Speaking of
are just kinda
shoes, I
like,
bought a shoe on Whatnot the
Nice.
other day.
Just
One
shoe.
shoe.
You're the one who bought the one shoe. Which one did you buy? Arts or you bought Harry's?
I bought Arts. He pressured me to it. I
I
bought it
love
because
how
he
he
has my
literally
stupid
threw away
pullover
the other
jacket.
shoe.
He forgot my jacket. And I'm like, I gotta buy some tonight and make
Dude,
Paco
I
put
bet
that thing in
you-
that box.
I bet you he'll send you both shoes. I bet
He
you
better.
He'll send you both shoes. Yeah, he might.
There ain't worth
50-50.
$35 together, so it don't really matter. Oh,
No,
my
so
goodness.
okay, so we can talk sales a little bit. Carrie sold a $400 sports card that he sort of kind of made a profit on. Anything else big, notable? People might want to know about, like a bolo, Carrie, a bolo of the week. You got a
Bolo
little
of the week.
bolo.
I
You got
sold
a little bolo.
I sold like a vintage Disney store Tigger hat today that I bought at a DI for like $4 or $5. Sold for
Hey,
$20.
Carrie, I sold.
So
something.
embroidered '90s hats, not just sports hats, but like cartoon characters.
Did you
They
see
can do
in the
well.
Trash to Cash Facebook group somebody like showed their hats, and most of the comments says hats just don't sell for me. I can't sell hats. Can't ever sell hats. I never sell hats.
They're probably
No.
not listing them right.
Yeah.
or not buying the right one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
You can't just have random
But they
companies.
had-
it needs to be stuff that's popular.
In the
Vintage
picture,
is
they
better.
had a 3-panel Steelers hat, and I'm like, that
Well,
don't
are they-
sell.
Good
Are
hat.
they priced right? Because that's a whole nother problem. If they're overpriced, if they don't know the actual
Well,
market price
that person
going today.
wasn't saying they weren't selling them. Everybody in the comments was.
I'm
they were-
thinking like a lot of times with hats, it's pricing. So they're either overpaying for their hats and asking too much, or they're buying the wrong hats. So if pretty much any correctly bought hat, if you price it right, will sell. In my opinion, it might take a couple months, but
Yeah.
Sure
my
enough, will
thoughts.
tell you. I got a video. I got 2 of them. You can watch.
Well, dude,
For sure.
I will say this, and just you saying hats made me think of this because I was watching my friend Brandon do a hat auction, and it was incredibly brutal
Brandon.
on Whatnot.
gosh, if
Well,
I hear one
it
more
was a
thing about
brutal
this
auction.
Brandon
It
fellow.
was a brutal auction. Like everything
His
was
world?
selling for like $1. Yeah, everything was selling for
Okay,
like $1.
there you
We're
go.
not selling
More
it all. We're
evidence.
not selling it all. Well, that's I'm bringing it back to district again. Actually, I really think, Kevin, I was talking to you about this idea of district where you can. I don't really fully understand it yet.
You
but
can
where
sell
you
Brandon
can
stuff 'cause
auction
he
off
can't sell 'em.
Like I could sell Brandon stuff. He would load it into an auction on district, and then I could run the auction and sell the items. He would ship them and
Yeah.
all that stuff, right?
What's your
and
cut,
then,
Dave?
I feel like I should charge more if I have to actually run it,
Seriously,
right?
I
Can you?
wouldn't
Can you do
it
that
for-
though?
Oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah, I
if
think you can,
I
yeah.
sure wouldn't.
If you
Oof.
could, yeah, if you could, I bet
Nobody'd
he'd be
want
fine
me
with
to.
it. He'd be fine with it. Like, okay, so a good example is Mike Death Pile Picker. He's coming to my house for this 100-mile yard sale. He's like, yo, I've got this huge death pile
Oh,
of
I'm
good
not
quality
coming.
Christmas stuff. I've got this huge quantity of good quality Christmas stuff. I want to bring it down, and I will give you 60% of everything that sells, and I will keep 40. It's his inventory. I've paid nothing for it, but he's going to give me 60% of the earnings because he knows I can sell it on Whatnot where he can't.
I did
sell
that
it
for
the same amount
Carrie.
of
He
money.
didn't give me nothing. I had to pay Bubba's girlfriend
Wow.
to ship it.
I remember, yeah.
I
Carrie's
just
monster.
remember when we shipped all your
Carrie's a
crap.
freeloader.
One time
Carrie's a
from
freeloader.
for your
That's a
auction, and we never
good
even
point.
complained because we're friends.
This is real. This was real. That was Carrie being real right there, y'all. Just saying.
Well, anyways, my point was like, I think a lot of people would benefit because I met up with Deb Linktree, friend of the show, Deb Linktree, this weekend or this week at
Deviltray?
Disney. Debla, Debleatra. I
You
don't know.
be
it's my
weird
name.
people,
Deviltray.
man. Always.
Yeah, dude.
No,
Saya
she's
Benda.
she's a friend of the show. She likes you, Kevin. So far,
Yeah,
Keep it,
tread
you know,
lightly
calm
there.
down.
What's the
Big
name?
Pants man.
Deb Linktree.
So
Deb
Deblitré, Karen, or
Yeah.
Deblitré, garage sale, Deblitré. You try to yank it out of my hand. There can't
Okay.
be many people with that names.
I-
I won't get
Are
in
you
trouble.
having a
if I use that.
stroke? Are you okay?
what is happening?
I'm saying I'm going to use that name instead of Karen because there's got to only be one person that's named that.
Her name is Debbie,
Oh.
Kevin. Her name is Debbie.
That's
So
a
then what
her
do you?
username
Why
is
did you
Deblitré.
call her
Deblitré.
something else?
That's her
Because they're
username. So
screen
I'm
names,
shouting
Kevin.
her
We have
out,
screen
Kevin.
names.
I'm
We
shouting
have
her out on
screen
Whatnot.
names, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Way to fumble a
Commonwealth
She was a fan.
picker.
She was a fan. Gosh, way to fumble that one. Gosh, just hand it to you,
Oh my gosh.
and you just
My point
alienated one of your
is,
dear
my-
sweet
my-
fans.
My only point was that she goes on to Whatnot. She runs a solid auction, and she does it like every other day for like 5 hours, and she struggles to get $1 to $2 for her items.
Is she selling the same niche down item?
Yeah, it's all women's clothes, women's
Okay.
clothing. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, Whatnot's hard. My whole point is Whatnot's hard.
I've said this for years. You really cannot succeed on Whatnot without a social media following, and I believe that. Now, I know we've argued about it, but here's the argument: is it's a social media, it's a social platform. So even if you are successful on Whatnot, it's because you
built
are
a social media
successful on a
platform.
social media platform. I mean,
On
it's
Whatnot, that is the social media platform in that case.
Yeah, I mean, there's followers, you can chat. There's all sorts of features that are very Instagram-esque.
there's YouTubers with decent followings who struggle on Whatnot. I mean, I've seen it happen.
Yeah,
Carrie, you've struggled before on certain auctions.
Oh, yeah, half of them still.
Yeah.
To this day.
Yeah.
So,
Well, okay, so I don't know. I keep going back to that because it's the new shiny thing, and that's how Dave works. Like my AI Picks podcast, which 95% likes. Guys, go hit the thumbs up.
is
Just
why-
put it on. You
Go
don't even
watch
need to
it.
listen to it.
Go watch it.
Just
Let us
go
know what
watch
you
it.
think of
Help
Blade
us.
Runner. I think Harrison Ford's a wee bit too moody.
And this next week's gonna be baller. It's Space, the Final Frontier, or something
2001.
along
2001,
like that.
Space the Final Frontier.
I'm gonna
Part
title
two.
that one "Is Space Odyssey 2001 the most boring film ever?" That's gonna be the title I think, for that episode. Tune in to
You know
find
what
out.
I didn't realize? You know what I didn't realize until afterwards? Neither of you saw Barbie the movie, did you?
No.
So
But
the
yes,
very start of
you sent me
the
that.
very
The
start
intro
of Barbie is the intro to 2001: A Space
I didn't
Odyssey,
realize
which
that until you
I didn't
sent it,
realize
yeah.
because I hadn't, I wasn't born in the 50s and saw Space Odyssey, so I didn't know.
My biggest sales from this week
See-
are pretty boring. Lots of soap. I think I sold $400 worth of soap bars this week. Just Octagon soap.
You're a grown man.
Hey, did you see
Why? What are you doing?
Dude,
I-
I paid $50 for that box, and I am selling it in 6-packs for $120.
You quit your job. You're an Emmy Award winner, and you're selling soap on the internet.
Dave, I found one of those. I found one
Colgate?
of those, and it's the exact same kind you have.
Yeah.
I found it with you, actually. You just didn't realize it. It was that private
okay.
pick we did when y'all were here at that one house.
Yeah.
I ask
And-
every garage sale I go to now if they have soap. I asked, do you have
I
soap?
brought it home, and I looked up your listing, and I undercut it. And it's
Did you
sold
sell
like
it?
that. And
Love
I
it.
said
How
that
much you
on the
sell it for?
podcast.
What a monster.
I don't remember, 14, 12.95, 15, 15,
I'm
one
selling for
bar.
$22. I'm selling
$1,
for $22.
$15.95
This
plus
kind of sale.
shipping. You did
I'm
free
doing free
shipping.
ship.
Yeah.
I'm doing
So
free
I did like
shipping. That's
$15.95
okay.
plus shipping.
I would expect you to. I had 60, so you
Yeah.
want to kind of move it
Yeah.
before. I'm down to 31. I've sold half of them for $22 a piece.
That's
pretty
rad,
baller.
dude. That
That's
is
a pretty
cool,
baller
honestly.
buy. But other than that, golf
Absolutely.
clubs, I sold a $229 set of Adams, which Adams is one of those brands you wouldn't think are good, and then
Oh, no.
they
they're
sell
good.
pretty freaking good. I went to this sale, Kevin, and this guy
Mm-hmm.
had like all golf clubs. He was like a golf club guy. And he had just primarily Ping, Callaway, Titleist, TaylorMade, and then he had one more brand called Top Flight. When he had a lot
No,
of those. Are
no
those
bueno.
good? I don't think those are
No,
good.
They're not good.
Not really.
And
not
but then
good.
he had this Callaway club that was like probably 9 feet tall, and it was thick and heavy. And I guess it was a display piece at a Callaway dealership or whatever. And he was selling it for $1,200. Dude, that thing is so unique. I bet it's worth more than $1,200. It's really a cool item.
I sold one driver one time for $500.
Wow.
One
Was
driver.
it? What brand?
It was a Bubba Watson pink. He uses pink driver. He's left-handed. Just a giant like
Okay.
signature Bubba Watson club. Paid $200 for it.
Clubs are
in
boring.
Raleigh,
Clubs are
but-
almost as boring as sports cards, to be honest. But I did want to just
Not as
mention that I
boring as
sold.
shoes.
Yeah,
I hurt
yeah.
my back raking leaves, and I'm in a ton of pain, but I couldn't stop laughing at the AI. The more I laughed, the more pain I felt. Actually, this is from a few episodes ago. No,
yeah,
it's
that's
not. I seriously
that's a
couldn't
general
stop laughing. Yeah.
That's a general consensus from people who watch this. The
A
more
lot
they
of them
laugh,
are
the
in
more-
pain. I don't
They're
know
in
why
I'm
they're
pain,
laid
in
up
and
in
then they
bed in
laugh.
pain. Yeah.
We're causing pain
So
through
I'm
laughter.
suing you. Can we hire Harry's
Jay,
lawyer?
Morgan and Morgan are being called. Yeah,
We could
no,
call this thing like rock. Well, I better not say this. I'm not.
Yeah,
Gonna
I
do
was
it.
careful,
glad.
tread lightly.
I was glad to see that my PowerPoint, although unprofessional, made people laugh. I thought
Oh,
that was
people
pretty
loved
It
it.
was nice, man. I mean, I liked how you made Kevin look so youthful and alive, which is something we don't get to see in person.
What
or
did Heather
in the
think? I want to know what Heather
podcast
thought.
much.
She listens to the podcast occasionally. She
Yeah.
left listening to the podcast and went over and watched it and died laughing.
Were you around when this happened?
No, she told me about it later. The AI pictures made me laugh out loud for real. Esme loves vintage, who's changed her name 3 times.
I somehow got Dawn to watch it because if you remember the old days, Dawn used to watch all our podcasts, and then like most sane, coherent people, stopped watching it over time because it's a waste of time.
No.
So I
to
actually
be
got her
fair,
to watch.
she
She thought it was
literally
funny.
stopped watching it when Kevin joined.
That is true.
That is when she stopped.
About when she stopped. She's like, eh.
She's told me she stopped watching because she hates Kevin so much.
Western
that's a fact.
Kentucky Flippers. Holy crap! I hated this podcast.
She doesn't hate
at
you, man.
first.
This
But
is
it has
this is
grown
a
on me
natural
like a
response. Yep,
Yeah,
that's a
I
natural
hated this
response.
podcast at first, but it has grown on me like
my favorite
a
one. My favorite one. I don't know
love
if you'll
those.
find it, but someone commented, Carrie, on an old video, our Rockstar Flipper versus Daily Refinement video, and they said, first time I listened to this, I was so annoyed because I couldn't find the spot where you talked about the Rockstar Flipper controversy.
Yes.
Then I went and watched Rockstar Flipper's video, and then I watched it again, and I realized you were talking about it the whole entire episode, but with extra
without
skill.
realizing
we are.
Yeah, he didn't
I
realize we were
think
doing it the whole
we're
time,
the
weaving
we're
it in.
We're the kings of
Subtext.
nuance. We're
Yeah,
very
subtext and nuance.
subtextual.
Yeah, and
Kevin's
sexual.
the sexual one. We're subtextual.
Yeah,
top here.
speaking
We're
of, listen to
subtext,
this.
he's sexual.
Let me read the rest of this
Subtextual.
comment. I have laughed more at you guys than I have in a long time. The AI stuff was fantastic. I'd love to hang out with you crazy guys. Love it. Keep up the good work. Fantastic content. P.S. Kevin is a swinger. I've swung with him at the old folks home.
Oh,
There we go.
good.
Yeah.
See?
You know, I don't
There's your
actually
hard
think
evidence.
I don't actually think we've been that funny this episode, guys. I'm sorry.
No,
we
I-
got all our funnies out last time. This time we were shilling Kevin's new thing the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah, the
my
whole time
goodness.
Kevin's like, we gotta talk about
Let me
district.
quote. Let me see if I can get somebody from Whatnot to hear. Speaking of shill, Dave,
Yeah.
your ads in
Dave.
these videos are terrible.
Yeah,
dude.
oh, they're
I know.
terrible.
I know.
I know.
I know.
Oh,
Have you got any
Hey,
complaints?
dude.
icky. I felt
Okay,
weird after
listen,
watching it.
listen,
I didn't watch
I-
it, but if
I don't
did.
know if Kevin's setting me up for this, but literally, I've made some excellent ads, like 3-minute, really integrated, wonderful ads, and I sent them over to Whatnot, and they were like, "Ah, these suck." And I sent him a joke crappy ad, and I titled it "Way Worse Version of Ad," and it's like super like robotic and go and download the app and bleep bleep bloop bloop blue. And they said, "Oh, that's sweet, bro." And I said, "Oh, whatever, release that garbage one."
And you
So
got
whatever.
300 people in your life, so maybe they know more than you.
Yeah, maybe they. Yeah,
I think that I
You're
300
beating
people in
Harry
my live
Tornado.
because people
He
like
had,
to watch
like,
me fail.
Less than 300 over.
yeah.
People like to watch me fail, and they wanted to see what kind of crap I've bought over the last 4 years.
That's exactly what it is. I think it's just like you never
then, like-
know when Dave is going to auction off
It's-
next.
what is
I
it, like
love it because like
Scheuden, frozen, Scheuden.
No, listen,
whatever that
Carrie,
thing is.
I
Scheiden,
grab like a
Frozen.
bundle of clothes and I bring it up and everyone's like, "What kind of garbage clothes is Dave gonna have?" And I start pulling out like just like really good
fire.
stuff, like
I'm like,
$100
what are you
jackets,
doing, dude?
autographed Jeff Gordon shirts, like just like this Metallica single stitch. Just, bid on it. Brian got that for $80. Like that bundle that he got is probably like a $300 bundle, and he got it for $80. But that's good. Brian should make.
But it's
money.
been
He
sitting.
deserves it.
It's been sitting in that.
Yeah, absolutely,
that. Who knows what's been in there? There's probably all sorts of infestations. We don't know what's happened to that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and a few homeless people live in there. I opened it up to the public. So, okay. So Trash Cat Rescue said, "Are you guys planning any 2024 trips for sourcing? How far in advance do you like to plan?" Kevin's got a whole freaking calendar. I don't.
Yeah.
It does.
Mike's
What do you
working
got,
on it.
Kevin? What do you got on your calendar?
Mike's working on it. We've got
Mike's
8
doing
on the calendar now. We'll probably end up doing
Well, send me and Carrie
5
your
of them.
list. We'll see if we can meet you at any of them.
Okay.
It's your
301,
your
for
little
sure.
parties. Yeah,
301.
301. The you got to put the Florida one on there. If
Yeah,
you like it,
actually,
let's see if it's good. if you
Beaches to
come.
Beaches is on there right now, March.
Well,
Early
I'm
March.
not talking about that one, but I've never been to that one. I've heard that one's good. that one's
I've
good.
heard both.
Hmm.
I've heard it's good. and
Any
it's bad.
guests planned? It's been a while. Not really. We're going easy on the guests.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Really?
Write it down.
Yeah.
Actually,
Actually,
no.
that's the next guest I want. I want
I
a
might be
second
there with
round
you,
of-
Dave. I might
Yeah,
be there
if you
with
come down, Carrie, we might need to record early next week because I'm going to be on the road Sunday. Actually, I'm going to be at a
Okay.
theme park on Sunday night. I'm just saying, in North Carolina. So we can't do Sunday. Maybe if Kevin comes, we record Friday night if you're available. Look at your little day planner
Probably.
there.
I'll have
see
to.
if you're
I'll have to
available.
look at my my day planner, my Franklin
Meetings.
day planner.
I got 3
Your
meetings
Lisa
tomorrow.
Frank day planner.
I hate meetings.
I have 1 meeting tomorrow. Who else you got meetings with, little fancy boy? How's all, Mr. Jedi Master? Dude. That
got
shit's
one
I
kinda
like
dumb.
this angle.
I think
Got
that's
one
your
with
worst.
crypto.com.
I think that's
He's got
your
another one
worst
with
shirt,
NFT.com.
I think this is my worst
What do you think of
shirt.
that shirt, Carrie? I think it's his worst one. I think
think
it's a little
it's-
too like.
yeah.
I wear
it's
my
too
best
much.
on my channel.
It's like he bought it like in 2007 at a Hot Topic,
I
and
bought
like it was
this-
child size, but it still fits him.
in a beach in where was I at? I don't know, some beach somewhere. And I went out to
Some
yard
foreign
sales.
beach,
It's
probably
not
like
one of your cool shirts.
Can or
No,
My
it's
shirt is a
not.
cool shirt.
Yes, it is.
Cozumel.
Trash to cash,
Yeah.
baby. Trash to cash. Okay, so Stacy Finley said, watching Kevin's video today, he said he
No, I
had
don't wanna hear
enough
this.
jeans. He had enough jeans and wasn't buying another. I know his inventory system is one reason he does this. Do Dave and Carrie have a limit on themselves? I figure I know the answer already, but I assume it'll be an interesting conversation.
If my jean bin is full, I don't buy jeans unless it's an incredible
fire.
deal.
Yeah.
And it's, it's
Jankos.
money.
You'd buy some Jankos.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I
you
have
buy some
I have
Jankos.
a system. It's called the 3x3x3 plan that I live by. If I have 3 of those items in stock and I haven't sold the 3 of them, then I can buy up to 3 more every week. that is what I do.
That's only
I
3
have a
by
system
3.
as well.
You said 3 by
Yes,
3 by
that's-
3.
I just made it up. I don't know. It sounded good when it came out of my mouth. I don't know. I don't have a
My
system,
system-
guys. I buy shiny stuff and I really hope it sells. That's my goal.
My system is incredibly strict. My father has another 1 acre. I can fit 7 more containers on it. Once I fill all 7, I will stop buying. Hoarder.
honestly, I'm pretty. That's part of why I do sports cards so much is space, because I come from having had a 3,000 square foot store that I filled up with garbage. Honestly, like we just overbought and overbought and overbought. There was times when I had 2 or 3 different storage units at once. I've overbought a lot of my career reselling, and now I'm much more focused. Honestly, that's why I focus
Carrie,
on clothes and cards, because it's easy to store, easy to ship.
Are you going to do the 8 hours after me on December 1st? Are you going to do the... Why not?
Zero interest. I don't want to do that.
cards.
8
Do
hours.
8 hours
That's a
of
lot of
cards.
work.
No way.
It's not that hard.
What? Oh, jeez. There's no way I do 8 hours.
Art
No
brought
way.
in like almost $4,000.
Yeah, but I'm going to
Yeah.
bring
For
in
8 hours.
substantially
Yeah,
less than you
35
guys.
for
And it's a lot
Cards?
of
If you
work.
did 8 hours of cards, Carrie?
I would not bring in. I don't even know what I'd bring in. $2,000
I
maybe.
bet you wouldn't be shipping for a day.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And I don't know if I want to just get rid of cards that many.
Hey, I
He
have
likes the cards too much to
somebody
sell.
ought to follow my giveaway show, y'all. Somebody
When
ought to
is
follow
it?
my giveaway show, or at least like send people.
When
If
is
you're
it?
watching this on Tuesday, I have a show Tuesday, guys.
Is it a giveaway show?
I have a
It's
show
not.
Wednesday.
You can come and buy stuff though, and then I'll
Wednesday.
give it to you through
I've
the mail.
got 2 scheduled
Kevin.
for the rest of this month and 2 for next month.
Wait,
What?
your giveaway show is Wednesday.
No, it's the 29th. I have a show the 15th.
See, a giveaway show is
then.
something you do if you're just killing it. I can't afford a giveaway show.
No,
You
dude,
guys-
This
I really
is a
think you
thank
should do one,
for
Carrie.
the folks who support me on the Flipper channel forever.
Kevin, I was telling Carrie he should do
Well, you guys
like a
make
cheap
hundreds of
card
dollars on
giveaway
your
show.
Flipper videos.
No,
I
no,
make
no.
$15 or
Hold
50
on.
or something.
You're thinking short-sightedly. Okay, so you take a handful of cards that you would sell for like $40, like not high-end cards. And you just sit there and you give them away for 40 minutes in the card category, and you get a bunch of new card
would actually be-
followers who like
That
cheap
would Don
cards.
actually
Like,
said we should
it would
do that.
pay
I'm
for
actually
itself.
teasing. I think I will do it.
Yeah,
The cards is where it's at though.
yeah, just do it on your
Or
cards.
you could
I
do a
mean,
giveaway while you do an auction. Like, here's this stack of cards. They're numbered 1 through 40. And I got 40 items in my auction. And if you win, I'm pulling one of these cards. And you also get that one too.
Yeah. Well, my big point, Kevin, was like to have a show in the card category titled Free Cards.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of new card followers. That's all I was saying. The longer you can do it, the better. Even if it's $100 worth of cards, like you're not,
Yeah, you got to
it's
ship
not gonna
100
kill you. You didn't
things,
pay
though.
$100.
Got to ship 100 cards.
100 cards is not that hard to ship, is it, Carrie? What's it take to ship 100 cards?
I'm talking about paying for them.
39 cents, 93 cents. What's it cost for the?
Whatnot for cards, it would.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would probably cost on average $3 or $4 because once
Per card?
people aren't winning more than one though, so each card is going to cost me $4 to ship.
You can't do standard envelope on Whatnot.
I don't
You
believe
can't
so.
just do an
no.
envelope. That's
No.
dumb.
Yeah.
Not that I know
It's
of, at
dumb that
least.
they do that.
District needs to
There's a
figure
lot
that
of
out.
dumb shipping stuff. There's a lot of dumb shipping stuff on Whatnot. Like
Well,
no
Mercari, if you
UPS
guys
is
do
annoying.
cards on Mercari, they have the standard envelope on Mercari now, which
Yeah.
they've
Do they?
had for a while. So
About
that's
4
nice.
months.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's where it would add up, I guess, is if you have to do $4 on shipping. I mean, still.
I'm
Yeah.
giving away new stuff,
it
y'all.
sucks.
That whole auction is new stuff or new
Well, the
old
one
stock
thing-
stuff.
The one thing I do on Whatnot that you guys can't do in the categories you're selling in is I promote. I promote my auctions. I do it.
They
in-
had that
in the
option
show
once.
promotion.
It's gone.
Yeah, I do it on every card show because it's so.
Well,
there's just
since
so many
Dave
people
sold
doing
out
it.
to what now? They're promoting him for free.
I know.
Yeah.
That's true.
But how do you
Hey,
sleep at
speaking
night,
of
though,
promoting
when you do
and
that?
selling out, when you use a title like I've used the last few, I snuck in a Rolo integration and there's not one complaint so far at all because they're all so hyped up about the other stuff they ain't complain about.
Like me trying to make my mom buy a flamingo with a wiener.
Have you released that yet?
Yeah, I released it. People said it was the funniest picker video they've ever seen.
Ever
Kevin.
seen? Wow.
Literally funniest ever. That's like the majority of the comments say that. And it is really hilarious. So I do recommend you watch that one with the censored logo on the front because it is. I troll my mom for
Didn't
like
you
30
censor
minutes
one of the
straight.
videos you did with Paul? Like
Only
filming
from his
Paul?
like, yeah,
Yeah,
just
because
from his
you censor it?
little / big dangler, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's 7'2" and Dave's 4'11", and you're just getting dangled. You're getting
Yeah. And that thing's to
the
scale,
Philly
baby.
the Philly
That thing's to
flopper the
scale.
whole episode. You got to
Oh,
censor that out.
nice. Golly, that's funny.
No, to
That's a
scale means big,
compliment.
Kevin. It's a
He
He
compliment.
had
Yeah.
an auction with his
It's out there.
fiance and was
Yeah,
breaking
it's-
in the money.
Yeah.
That's
She's-
just-
okay.
yeah, man.
No Nose Picker said, do y'all think with the eBay seller YouTube videos out there, more people are selling on eBay because of the job economy? Maybe eBay having too many sellers to post items. Just wondering.
So I've
No.
talked about this a bunch on my channel. There are consecutively over the last 2 years a drop off of over 1 million sellers over the last 2 years
Really? Where'd you learn that?
from
Or
eBay's
you made
numbers
it up?
themselves.
Oh, okay.
The number
They've
of
lost
sellers
1 million
is going
sellers.
down the
Why,
last
though?
2 years.
Why
Well,
is that?
I think there was such an increase, and it's not just because of YouTube resellers, but I'll take
People
some
are stuck
blame,
at
right?
home, too.
I think people
Exactly.
I think people over exaggerate TikTok and YouTube resellers. They're basically how much influence they have in anything
how many
to do with
yeah,
these
exactly.
major platforms.
The biggest
like next to
ones
none.
who do it. Like if I get 20,000 views on a flipper video, it's like holy moly, that's a drop
what's
in the
happening?
bucket compared to.
Are you getting 5,000 people selling Tupperware lids afterwards? No, there
No,
might be
look,
like
no.
3 random people over the next month or two that pick them up at a yard sale, and
Yeah.
half of them don't even post it because they got a death pile. So,
Yep.
I mean, what
It doesn't
effect
take
does it
much,
really
though.
have?
If there's 10,000 pickers out there, and all of a sudden they see a new item, it's going to affect it. But I don't think it has a huge
That's what
splash
picking
in the
is,
whole
though.
economy.
That's what
It's
picking
like when
is. It's
Kevin ruined
constantly
lawn
moving on
chairs.
to. Well, it's constantly anybody who's a picker knows that you can't expect to pick the same stuff and make money off it forever.
Yeah, that's right.
Markets happen; they get saturated for various reasons,
I was at a sale
and
this
then you
week.
move on to the next one. If you're a good picker, you'll just move on to the next one.
I'm just looking at that item like I've sold that 50 times, but it ain't selling anymore. Even those big, I like to sell the Scrabble Deluxes. I used to get $50 for those.
Remember back
Plus
in the day,
shipping.
it'd
Now
sell
they
the
get like
Scrabble
28.
pieces to the
still sell
crafters
those.
or whatever.
I still do.
Can
Yeah,
I
but they
tell
don't
you,
sell
though,
as quickly or
good.
for as much.
I sold it pretty quick, but they
that
don't sell as
Scrabble
good.
Deluxe is
About
really
$4
the
per
only-
100.
The only Scrabble people should own because it's got the little locks that hold the tiles in
Yeah,
place. The
and
new
it
Scrabbles are such
spins.
garbage. Yeah, the new
It spins.
the cheap Scrabble, the shrinkflation Scrabble is some nonsense. My son comes out to the garage yesterday and he's like, "Dad, look at the pizza rolls we got." Because his favorite food is pizza rolls, just like every teenage boy. He holds up a pizza roll. It's like tiny. I'm like, "Isn't that smaller than normal?" He's like, "Yeah, I had one from the old bag, and it's like twice the size. They
Yeah.
shrunk the pizza
And
rolls."
toilet paper rolls. They didn't shrink it
Dude,
this way.
same
They
with
shrunk it
Cheetos.
this way.
Oh,
And
let's
bubble
talk
wrap.
for a minute. Kevin doesn't actually have a coddled anus. Can we talk about this for a second,
Yeah, let's
Carrie?
talk about it.
I
Yeah,
was
no,
listening to
please.
Heather
I was
on the
hoping
other
we'd bring this
podcast.
up.
I was listening to Heather on the other
hoping.
podcast. She said that she loves like Angel Soft and Triple Ply, which is where I'm at. Like Snuggly, some like nice, down pillows is what I use to wipe personally. Apparently,
He uses
Kevin's like
sandpaper.
he goes
He
raw.
He
He like
uses
uses
the real
sandpaper.
gritty sandpaper. Yeah.
Mhm. Kevin,
What is-
when you
yeah.
get
Well,
if you
I
come to
work-
my house, you're gonna love the bidet and the fancy
Oh,
toilet
dude.
paper. Your
In the
your
butthole
The
butthole
bidet
is
will
gonna
just
be in
shoot you
heaven.
off the seat of the toilet. That's just how powerful the bidet
Uh-huh.
is. You're floating in the air for a
Don't
moment.
use
It's
turbo
beautiful.
mode. It's
They have
basically an
half
enema.
ply at the public schools.
And Kevin cuts that in half.
Any place, for the record, any store, any place I have to make a deposit in their restroom, and they have half ply, I just waste extra. I just take more off and throw it away. It's disrespectful to my butthole. Merch idea.
So
Don't steal it. Don't steal it.
Phil said, are you doing anything to prepare for Black Friday, sourcing or selling, or does that event not really impact you that much?
I'm not doing
I would say
a
the
whatnot
only
Black
way
Friday thing. People are overthinking this. There's going to be 8 million sellers selling on Black Friday, and the buyers are going to be spread thin.
And Kevin said whatnot. I think I was talking over him, but he said
it might be honestly. The play might be to buy, to go on these auctions and get some low deals from some of the people who don't
or
have very
some
many
Joe
people in
deals
their
from Joe
auctions.
Deals.
I said whatnot, didn't I?
Oh, you did, but I talked over you. I didn't think people heard you because I didn't hear you, but I saw your lips move. No, okay, so yeah, what Kevin was referring to again was the zero fees on Black Friday.
But I think what Phil's saying,
but I think what Phil's saying is like for eBay, for anything like that, are you focused on Black Friday? Like, do you change anything about your other selling stuff?
No, but why doesn't eBay do? And maybe they do. Maybe I haven't seen this, but why doesn't eBay do 10% across the board and let sellers opt into it?
That'd be cool. I was thinking about just doing my own promotion of like 40% off everything.
You can do it with the code. Like I have code Commonwealth.
Yeah, do a coupon
People
code,
don't use it, but if you buy anything from me and use code Commonwealth, you get 5% off.
Okay.
You do that?
I guess we
doesn't seem like that much of a deal.
About the topic.
Please, you're shilling. You've been shilling off your stupid picks.
5% off is kind of almost offensive because
I guess
you're already charging like 30 to 40% more than usual sellers.
No, I'm not.
I undercut supply hutty to me is what it feels like.
My sales are good lately. I don't know. They just make me feel like I'm not selling a lot, but daggone, I feel like I'm selling a lot.
Okay. So I want to answer Phil's question before we go on to you bragging. We'll do that in a second. Kevin's gonna have a bragging hour.
Kevin loves him some Kevin.
No,
you just
I was just gonna say.
Time if we let him.
I think for most people who resell, if you resell a lot of new goods, especially on Amazon, then Black Friday is a huge deal. Yeah. If you do that, listen to Pure Hustle podcast. They talk about it constantly. They gear up for it in September.
Amazon Prime more than
Amazon Prime, all that stuff. I think for eBay sellers, it doesn't make that big of a difference.
No, honestly. It doesn't really.
Well, it doesn't because there's no advantage. The reason why it's big deal for everybody else is because there's discounts.
Yeah. You know, the iPad, 2022 iPad's $250 right now on Walmart. It's a pretty good deal. I'm thinking of getting one for my Whatnot auction, so I have like something bigger to read the comments and stuff at that price.
I have like a nice iPad sitting here that I only charge like once every 6 months. And
you don't use it for like your eyes are bad. Anything. Your eyes are bad. You should use it for your Whatnot so you can read the comments because it'd be bigger.
That's actually a good idea. I could do my Whatnot on the iPad. I didn't think
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
It's a good idea, honestly.
I might get one for that. It's a good deal. All right, Kevin, go ahead.
Tell us all
about 1600.
Kevin's going to tell you about some of the stuff he's doing.
1600. So what was your sale of the week? Can we at least get your sale of the week?
Else.
I gave you some good sales. I don't know.
I want your biggest sale, the one that really generated that 1600.
I don't know. I mean, it might be the 170 bread box, to be honest with you. I sold a Coach bag that I picked up at the reseller alley for $5. Sold for $100.
And tell us a little bit more about it.